Hello and welcome to yet another TokuTonic shift. It's been quite a week when it comes to Toku stuff, and there's like so much that we can't cram it all into tonight's live stream just because bro, I gotta drive to the airport at like 2:30 in the morning, so ain't nobody got time for that. Let's see how long this runs. Hopefully, it's not another 3-hour stream. But every time I say that, we go for like 3.5 hours. So
I'll be sure to get us off topic. We will go 4 hours today.
it's usually how it goes. But of course, joining me this week, we've got a nerd named Mark. How are you this fine evening?
Good. Been seeing a lot of movies, spending a lot of time at the theater, watching stuff, and playing Spider-Man still. So nothing really new.
Did Toy Spider-Man appear?
I don't want to disappoint anyone, so I'm not going to answer that question.
That means no.
Dang it.
Does Leopardon at least show up? Oh, really?
Didn't they tease it showing up in like press interviews? Saying
Yep.
we're looking into it.
I think honestly, remember this was supposed to be one film. Now it's two.
Oh yeah. Now it's
So
two.
I'm assuming
He's in part two.
that's what's gonna happen. It could happen when I had to actually like exit myself out a few times because photosensitive or whatever it's called, like the flashing lights in that color like give me headaches like crazy. So there are a few moments where I had to like go into the hallway and like kind of just like close my eyes and like dip my head a bit and just kind of like get my equilibrium back and then like go back and sit down and watch it.
Well, I'll probably check it out. I got like
I'm not gonna spoil. No,
yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not like I would like no. It literally just came out.
Yeah, obviously not. Even when it comes to like Shin Kamen Rider, we're gonna not talk about spoilers until maybe like the tail end of this stream. So for those of y'all worried about any spoilers when it comes to Shin Kamen Rider, we are going to try and avoid completely that because of course Mr. Ash the Oxy 360 over here has not seen it because over in Australia they did not get the luxury of getting this film. But outside of that, how are you this fine morning for you?
I'm good. I am exhausted from work, but I'm here to talk about Geats and I know it's a Don Brothers, King-Ohger, and whatever's on the docket.
Yeah, so we are gonna lightly just give some quick thoughts on the Don Brothers Reason Kaiser, but we are gonna go more in depth on that when it comes to next week's live stream as well as the Punk Jack special because I've not watched that Punk Jack special yet because I've been also way too busy with work related stuff and just like the amount of videos that I had going on this week besides like the regular reviews and then the live stream on Tuesday. Just did my Shin Kamen Rider video right before going live and now doing this. My God, it's like all over the map. So
you had a lot of content this week.
So, even a YouTube short. So I was just like, man, everything, just a little bit of everything. And for people wondering why Daiji is down here next to Mr. Ash here, it's because of all the L's caught in this week's Geats. But of course, we had to have the King of L's himself represented here just for that sake. But first, Cosmic Orchid, you're here, and you're here for a particular reason. During Tuesday's live stream, you probably had one of the most disappointed, like, meanwhile, Sononi. I think everybody was baffled. I was confused. Everybody was confused. You had to explain yourself. I need you. Go ahead, explain the bit during that Tuesday live stream. What happened?
Okay. Here's the thing. I sent the letter to Turbo Yuki, and it reads something like this.
They got HD assets thrown in. What is this with your VTuber model?
Someone upgraded.
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone got that new graphics card. Okay, you may proceed.
Budget. Okay.
To Wumi Mikaserd, this is a reminder demanding that Turbo Yuki pay me 100 crabs due to the property damage that occurred during his stay at my house when he was on during his mysterious disappearance. As such, I am charging 100 crabs. 50 if he's able to get Jeremy's mom's contact information, since I got a couple of fellow critics who want to try get a crack at becoming Jeremy's new step parent because his dad is by practically dust at this point. As such, please give me 100 crowns or 50.
I mean, given that it's Turbo Ryuki and he spent a good chunk of time in my basement as well as the trash, you're gonna get crabs one way or another from that man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, okay, so I hope you're prepared because you didn't drink. You had no chugging ability during that entire video. So look, I got the sound effect ready for you.
Okay, I got the bottle, and I also got this.
Okay, so you need to go ahead and do it. Say the line, and we'll get you ready.
Okay. Meanwhile, said Nani.
Where's the liquid? Where's the liquid?
Yeah.
Man.
I think, okay, I tried to drink the whole bottle.
I'm good.
Okay.
We're all thinking the same thing
Yes. We are.
because there's going to be a VOD that someone can clip this from. And some of us know special effects in video editing.
Blur out the chat.
The reason why it looks so awkward is that my program doesn't allow me to use 3D assets or animated assets. As such, it's just a still.
Oh,
Don't
there
worry,
will be animated.
We got you on that. We
There will
got
be
you on
animated.
that. I'm already pulling up 3D assets on this monitor right now.
All right.
The wheels are turning.
Let me do this real fast. Rank the meanwhile.
Also, really
Like
quick,
Tuesday's live stream did not end.
you know Jeremy's mom has that grip, so I
Oh.
understand completely.
Eightfold.
Like, even I'm just like, can I become the 7th? Like, do we need, like, if we need a little like 5-episode like mini series going over her, Jeremy's mom, like, I mean, I could do a spoof of Stacy's mom song real quick.
Oh yeah, do that. I also heard there's a spoof of Stacey's mom with Stacey's dad.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's not going to do it for me.
Let's see here. All right. So far, just 16 votes in, but hey, we've only got like 39 people in here. I'll let we'll just end it at that. But look, you got benefit of the doubt, and you got an A.
Yeah,
You got
Rosie,
an A.
if anyone mentions anything Shin Kamen Rider, do not point any spoilers in chat.
Yes,
Please,
absolutely.
just leave spoilers out of chat.
You can give impressions, things like that,
Yeah.
but definitely do not give any finer details. when
Trust
it
me,
comes
I would
to-
love nothing more to spend 2 hours with 3 gallons of water chugging and talking about stuff.
Yep.
Like, I went through that large Pepsi Zero Sugar real quick in some parts of that movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't get drinks because my friend was late. Luckily, it was before the first 20 minutes, so I didn't miss much. But I was so like thirsty because I was dressed up as Ruiko and I had heels on.
That's why I don't wear heels to the theater.
Well, once we get to the Shin Kamen Rider talk, we're gonna talk about what our fit was to the premiere, because of course I figure some people probably dressed up in some stuff anyway. So Mark out here like, nah, I didn't wear shit.
I wore my own merch, and I was and when people asked me about it, like, oh, it's on my shop, and like I made 2 sales. So
Hey,
Did you
there
guys?
you
Always
go.
trying to make
Sometimes
money.
it's gotta be that way.
Did you
Congratulations.
see the guy on Twitter that recreated the Deadpool meme?
No.
Huh?
No, oh, I gotta find it. Let
Well,
me
while you
find it
get
real
that queued
quick.
up,
Yeah.
let's talk about this week's with this week's Geats, because I had to like refresh myself, because with all the Shin Kamen Rider in the brain, I was like, I don't even remember what happened in this week's Geats, and like I was trying to like click through these like screenshots and like get them all done before the stream. So I'm like, okay, let's see what we can remember. So of course, yeah. So first things first, of course, when we last left off, Gene was trying to get Beroba and Kikera to go ahead and just give up their vision drivers because, of course, the season finale is near. And they're like, ah, fuck. Okay, yeah, you know what? We're going to give them up, but not before we make some new wishes. So I know initially I did not know what the card said, but I believe some people have looked it up and it said something to the effect of, at least Beroba said something to the effect of, that they want to remain in this world until they see like the greatest misery or something like that.
They're both similar because someone commented on my video saying like a lot of people were like translating them. I forgot who, so I can't really be like, oh, thank you, such and such. But yeah, they're both very similar. Like hers is like misery and his is like being entertained or something.
Mm-hmm. Which I guess makes sense given like the way these characters are. But I'm just like within the grand scheme of things, it's like, okay, so does that save you from the grand end or what? Because if you know, once it's technically cut loose, like what happens once they get their grand end? Do they just like disappear right after? So I don't know. So yeah, outside of that, we're joined by all of our very important characters that are super, super important. And I mean like maximum amount of character growth this week, because obviously nothing awkward is going to happen to warrant anything in terms of the caliber of making these characters regress in any way, shape, or form. Isn't that right, Daiji?
Judge is shocked.
So of course, the big thing is, since everybody's given the ID course to Sarah, Sarah's clearly got the lead, right, with 33 points. So obviously, color me surprised when it seems that Buffa's also got 33 points. And like almost literally exactly. You would think that Ace, with his additional ones, would have just given Buffa some of the extra ones to skew the ties. But nah. We're just going to keep a tie game. So
we also lost some too when Archimetal beat him.
Technically, yeah. We lost some because they came to the hands of Beroba, of course, at the end of the previous week's episode where we got that slight seed plant of stuff going on. Why is my mouse being weird on the screen here? Okay. So either way, we get more real intense deep dive in terms of information that I don't know how Kyun got this information, but he got the deets that apparently it doesn't matter what they wish for. It's not going to be granted. Sueru is not planning on granting anyone's wishes, and they're really just doing this just to kill some time and get some good content in before the actual season finale. So
like when it's TV shows and or sitcom is ending, and so everyone has to be, and the writers have to like wrap up everyone's plot threads before the big end.
Yeah, it's a big issue that we ran into in a lot of Heisei Phase 1 shows, I'd say, where it's like, bruh, like the show ends like in 2 weeks. Wrap it up. Wrap that shit up. But at least Geats is technically doing it in episode 37. So that mean that we're technically queuing up for the finale starting now, or are they going to introduce another arc that's going to throw in some more seed plans and other? Either way.
From the rumors I hear, probably.
It's definitely gonna be another arc, but I think it's like the end game arc. Like this Desire Royale is ending.
Yeah, there's like some listings for a couple more final forms.
Yeah, we went over those last week when it came to those leaked toys. So yeah. But of course, Neon shares the information with Sarah and Keiwa regarding the entire matter. But of course, that's when Buffa attacks and just throws hands on everyone. There's definitely a lot of shots of him beating up and impaling some Nago, as well as Sarah messing up on the bus. I showed the jump cut in there during my review, as well as during the live stream that I did on Sunday night, where it was very awkward. It seemed like Sarah's suit actress was like slipped on the opening to the bus, and then they cut away to where she like caught her composure, and I was like, that's a weird jump cut, but okay, the magic of editing.
I will say the filming style, like I like when they do the fights and they do the camera panning up and over with like the down shots that they've been doing. They started it with Revice, and like the action sequence, fighting aside, the camera work has been really good this season. And
I think it's because they definitely are utilizing the technology that they've got, which is why like we've already had this conversation before where it seems like all the assets that they've gotten currently for King-Ohger, that's going to be a return investment that we'll see in like other Toku shows as well. Because the dynamic camera that they use in Geats, we saw that also in Dawn Brothers, except for Dawn Brothers, they used it in the most goofiest of instances where they're literally like talking around the table and it's like dynamic camera angle.
I think like the dynamic camera angles also like showed up a few instances in Zenkaiger, like particularly the first episode with Juran and Kaito, their first fight.
I'd have to go back and look at that.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but at the same time, they weren't heavily focusing on that because they went really green screen heavy due to filming restrictions at that time. So they didn't do it a lot.
So yeah, back to Keiwa doing nothing when it comes to Buffa and just catching these L's and getting thrown out. Also, while we're at it, Nago goes ahead and gets dished out as he's trying to take down Sarah. But of course, this results in a very awkward scene because was it just me or was his monologue going on too long? Like when he grabs their ID cords, I'm just like, bro, wrap that shit up. Something can happen. While you're busy talking, something's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think I like during this part, I just skipped to the part when he like actually cracked it.
Yeah, which is what I'm glad he did. It finally happened, and Sarah's character is nothing because they literally just got retired from the game. Nago got retired from the game, but of course, if you saw the preview, Nago's back next week, so it doesn't matter. But whatever, their ID cores are cracked. So back to Gene getting those vision drivers from Beroba and Kekera, which of course Niram gets his back, but that second one goes to Ace because, of course, he never left the sheets. So Gene was definitely obliging. So during that same time, we get Win doing some extensive research on what's going on with Ace's mom prior to the fact of his conception, in which we find out that apparently that there was a rule set by the DGP that, pretty much intense romances should not happen between a player and the navigator, in which we find out that Ace's dad was a desired god ahead of time, and he desired something a little bit more than gold. He desired in between them legs. He desired them cheeks.
The Navigussi.
Navigussi. So yeah, during all of that intense for front shadowing, of course, Ace goes ahead and goes straight to his mom. But of course, Sueru's like, nah, bro, that ain't going to happen. And I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen because I'm going to make a wish in which you never existed in this world anyway. But of course, Goddess of Creation doesn't grant that wish. She goes ahead, blows a casket, and starts cracking in the process because, ain't going to do that. Ain't going to do that again. But of course, this is where Sueru pulls out his OP 4-dimensional powers and just yeets them right out of the set. You know, when you've got powers like this, it makes me wonder why aren't you just throwing hands with Geats right now? Like it seems like classic Saturday morning villain where it's just like, I've got all the powers, but I'm not gonna throw hands with you. I'm just gonna shoo you away. This is where King-Ohger is getting it right because we're seeing Death Narak like throw hands from like the outset. But over here, Sueru's just like CG attacks and you're gone.
Yeah, this is like the opposite problem with Gift. Like he was more imposing when he wasn't doing hands, but when he threw hands, it's like
he was never imposing. He slapped Aguilar, and that was the only good thing he ever did.
That was true. And imagine when he started talking. That was a terrible moment for me when Gifu started talking. Anyway, we now join Kekera giving Beroba a big old lollipop because they're about to enjoy the show that's about to happen with Buffa and Tycoon going in. But of course, it's an easy-ass fight because, of course, Buffa's got the hacks. So here's another shot because, of course, we got to get those lollipop shots in. So here is also where we get the proper backstory that we had already explained, though I kind of want to misquote someone in my comment section that after like I posted up this review and of course Win starts going about Mitsume apparently like praying really, really hard for 3 days and 3 nights until a miracle happened. The comment essentially said, well, it's nice to know that Win just said that Mitsume got raw dogged for 3 days and 3 nights until they had a baby. And I was just like, God damn.
That's one way to put it.
That's a top tier comment right there. When I go back to my comment section, I'm gonna pin that straight to the top for that review because that was hilarious. Damn, getting completely wrong up. 3 days and 3 nights. I mean, that's one way of praying. She was on her knees one way. Oh my god. All right. So back on to getting bodied. Here is Tycoon just absolutely getting in all of that massive L. Just right there. From Tycoon. I mean from Buffa. But of course, once again, we run into the issue where Buffa keeps monologuing while he's grabbing these ID cores. And of course, that allows enough time for Wen to swoop in, snatch it up, give Keiwa back his ID core, and then go ahead and explain the raw dogging that happened, the real love and peace that ended up happening for 3 days and 3 nights. So, of course, as the goddess starts cracking up, Suiru, for some odd reason, once again, this still baffles me in terms of some of the decision making. They're going to take it outside of their pocket dimension just so she can crack in the real world. Why would you do this, man? Like, this is dumb. Like, this makes no logical sense to me besides literally just a visual showpiece. It's just whatever.
It's like with like Levi's and Kamen Rider Juga. At least there were some hints that George was losing it, so it didn't come as much as a left field from like what's his name again? I forgot.
Yeah, look, he still did it to himself. I will never forgive the Juga arc for literally being a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah,
like
Daddy.
But
So-
at least it got some setup, not like the goddess appearing out of nowhere.
It got a 10-minute setup. The goddess makes sense in this one because
It's been built up.
my theory is they can't have a new goddess replace that one unless that one's gone. That's my theory, anyways. So it's like, what's the easiest way? Leave her there. She's gone.
But the thing is, it's like technically, like, so during this scene, like Suiru explains to Niram that like they've already got a replacement in mind for the goddess of creation. However, during the entire reading of the rules, they said that it was forbidden for, you know, a contestant to have a relationship with a navigator because of the side effects. But I'm just like, aren't you technically breaking your own rule? Because if Sumudi is unlocking these latent abilities, isn't it a side effect of her forming some sort of relationship or a bond with another contestant?
That's her brother. That is wrong and sick. That's going to be via cinema.
Well, I mean, this is Japan. And
It wouldn't be the first time.
Yes.
Saber.
Okay,
So-
no, I do not ship Rika with her brother. I ship her with Manjin. It's way more fun.
I have a no shipping rule.
I'm from Tumblr, so
You said the word.
yeah, 2 more times.
You fell for it. You fell for it. Ah,
You took
Yeah,
the bait.
All right. So, of course, Niram and Ace obviously have to duke it out in the pretty much a low-budget version of how the Garo falling from the building fight was. Still a superior fight. But, you know, they did their own interpretation. But, of course, this is during the daytime, so it's not as good. Nighttime fights are still superior. We need more of those in Rider. Thank you, Shin Kamen Rider, by the way. But, yes. Like it was an all right fight, but of course, all this happens when the goddess like sheds. Okay, so tell me I'm not the only one that thought this, and of course I know from my live stream on Sunday that I'm not the only one, but I'm just trying to gauge some thoughts. When this piece fell and Ace picked it up, did you all think this was going to become the buckle?
yes.
Yep.
100%. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to appear in his hand. Or he was going to hold it up and yell, and then like something was going to happen. It was
It was the perfect setup.
Yeah, because I'm just like, it would make sense, especially since last week we were with the idea that the goddess of creation technically was the buckle in a way, and it would become, you know, mother and son duo out here. But yeah, it wasn't that at all. It was just his raw emotion that elicits the creation and the manifest, and he's almost doing troll face here. The manifestation of the Boost Mark III buckle, giving us an actual proper berserker form that has, space-time manipulating abilities, creating his own black holes, just being OP as all hell when it comes to all that, to the point that he even breaks the fourth wall at the end when they're giving you the rules regarding the creation of buckles, and it's like, nah, fuck you, got him. So yeah, that was this week's Geats, and it was all right. It was all right. It didn't really move the needle too much for me, just because of a lot of the inconsistencies that I have with Sueru right now, just being kind of like your typical twirly mustache having villain right now. I'm not feeling the depth from him as a villain currently. It still kind of confuses me why he would even revive Niram as well as Win, when all they're doing right now is just literally just finding out the mystery. And it's just like, what plan does he have for all this? He could have brought back like Girori or like some other like previous game masters that were a lot more like true to their cause. Yeah. So it would have made more sense. But yeah, it's just like we have all that, and yeah, I'm a little bit indifferent. Of course, the preview shows some kind of interesting stuff. But we'll get into that after we give our initial thoughts. But Mark, what do you think about this episode?
I liked it from the standpoint of like, okay, we're actually pushing more into the end game stuff. I didn't like it because I brought up my review. At this point in time, there's so many plot points that have not been touched on in so long, and I keep bringing it up, and I'm just like, so much stuff that I theorize about just is never going to get. There's so many things that aren't going to like get resolved. I still think Keiwa getting the Berserk form would have been the smarter choice, because it's like his sister just got retired, and Nan, who I still think was going to end up being with Keiwa in the end, get eliminated in front of him and retired. And you're telling me that didn't snap something in him at all? He's just like more shocked, like, oh look, Punk Jack's back. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. Like he had a failed band, no one cares. Like that really. And then there's also scenes where Niram and what's his name are talking, and you can kind of see he's almost upset that the grand end's going to happen because he doesn't get any more food. Like
that's true. Oh wait,
and I feel like even Niram kind of is begrudgingly doing this stuff now, where I'm just like, something's gonna happen. I feel like they're gonna do a last minute, like he's gonna either get destroyed or he's gonna turn and become like an anti-hero, because they've kind of been doing that with Buffa. That's why he talks so much, and I'm like, this is the most this man has talked this whole entire season. Instead of just being, he finally gets his power and he just wants to talk everyone to death instead of just destroying them.
Orca, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, you got thirsty.
Water?
Real quick.
Yeah.
We got a $2 from Bird of the End saying, can we call Keiwa the new Kamen Rider L? I don't know.
Nah, because Taichi was getting L's like 90% of Revice, where Keiwa had his moments, and there's still time for him to be redeemed.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Daichi's arc was basically taking an L.
He's gonna end up getting an upgrade eventually. We'll just have to see if it ends up being a recolor of a pre-existing suit. I'm gonna be completely disappointed by that aspect. But I guess that remains to be seen. Or if it's just if it ends up being that shinobi suit with a green recolor or something and a new headpiece, I'm also gonna be disappointed.
And this is not helped by the leak I seen that the fantasy buckle possibly being a remake of the ninja buckle.
No, the fantasy buckle apparently is going to Nago. That's what I've.
No, I mean like the buckle itself is going to be a retool of the ninja buckle. They just
the shinobi buckle is a retool of the ninja buckle. Yeah. It's just painted purple.
No, like literally, they're gonna like recolor.
Why would they?
No, I saw that. Yeah, so the ninja buckle, they're taking the Shuriken off of it and they're recoloring it and adding like a ring or something on it instead. That's the rumor right now.
That's the rumor for it. That's dumb.
Yeah. It's like getting like a Halo, like fantasy ring, like a Lord of the Rings type ring on it instead of the little ninja star, and it's getting recolored. That's the rumors, anyways. I don't dabble in rumors, and even I saw that, and I was like, if this is true, That's some
Fuck
stupid shit.
Geats. If that's the case, I'm just like, man, fuck the production of Geats. Y'all
And
dropped the
also
ball hard.
the art design for the shark buckle, it was a contest, a viewer
Yeah,
contest. It's not
yeah,
an actual buckle.
Yeah,
yeah. We're aware of
Mm.
that one.
that should have been in there a while ago, anyways.
So yeah. Let me see. There was another question here that said, "Are you on the side that Boost Mark III is a berserker form, or that it's another case of Ace being really pissed?" Well, the thing is, every time that we've seen Ace actually pissed, like it seems way more like focused, like literally like
Mhm.
no words are said, especially like when the information about Neon got revealed out. Like that was actually
Yeah.
pissed, like
Mhm.
Ace. That was just like he's
Yeah.
just going in. This one literally seems like he's lost his tempo, and that's part of the reason why he's gonna
Mm.
need it
Well-
to properly become Geats 9.
And Neon brought it up in the fight. He's like, the reason why you're losing is because you lost your composure.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which is a common occurrence. It's a common trope when it comes to a lot of these shows and animes, where it's just like, oh, you're letting your rage like blind you, and that's not good. Now I can easily just beat you up. So
I think it
Yeah.
comes from Eastern philosophy, especially in fighting. Like in fighting, you're not supposed to let your emotions blind you because it would allow more openings and people to more easily take you down. That's why they prefer for you to be in control of your emotions while you're fighting.
yep. So Ash, what do you think about this week's episode?
Oh, it was okay. I mean, it was like the plot's moving along. We learned some backstory stuff, some lore. Seeing how I knew that Boost Mark 3 was coming, I knew this episode would be a lead in to next week's getting the power up. But it was an okay episode. I didn't hate it. It is what it is. I mean, had some cool moments. I really enjoyed the fight on the bus. That was some really cool camera work there. But yeah, I'm curious to see where the show is going to go moving forward because Ace is going to get his final power up. And I don't know if you've seen the preview, but he talks to someone in a mask or something like a Vox mask. And a lot of people are speculating that could be his father, or we could learn more about his backstory when he sort of gets his power up.
Yeah, which we do actually got. I've got a really nice
Yeah.
shot here of
Yeah.
this person here, and the fact that they've got like a half actual like kitsune mask, but then the other side looks a little bit more like BGP-ish in terms of that aspect.
Mm.
So yeah.
I figured that was one of his.
Like
I figured that
Robert
was one of
Demac-
his previous like incarnations, like that. He
Yeah, that was-
that's a theory.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
my prevailing thought, was that it might have been the first like Ace
Thanks.
incarnation, the one that started this this trend, the
Yeah.
reincarnation and all that stuff, and it's just him having an inner monologue with himself in a way.
Mm.
I'm thinking very Naruto-ish, where Naruto starts
Oh.
talking to Kurama inside of his
Mhm.
head in order to control his Jinchuriki abilities and actually gain the proper nine-tailed fox form. So if they go that route, then they're definitely
Yeah.
going, unless it's like it's the spirits of Geats himself.
Jokes
Yeah,
on you. I've
him-
never seen Naruto.
Him getting free tails is pretty much exactly like Naruto getting his free tail power.
It was
up
actually
on-
the Four Tails form where he started going
Was it
berserk
Four
in
Tails?
Naruto. Yep. Because I went back and I was just like, let me look it up, because I believe it was the Four Tail scene, because I was originally going to try and do a bit with it, but yeah, the
Mhm.
animation quality and all that stuff that I can get from the rips, and I'm not trying to re-download Naruto again.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was like 3 that led into 4 in that fight. It's been a while.
it was the fight against Orochimaru
On the bridge,
in-
yeah.
yeah. And once he goes into 4, that's when he starts going completely berserk in terms of that aspect. So yeah, that's all that. Orchid, what do you think?
I like it, but I feel like they keep pushing the character side plot, like the side characters' own like character arts always on pause, and I think that's like a main issue with Geats. Like when that whenever like one character is like having their big moment, the other characters' character arts are just hit pause. This is like, to me, this is why I like Rewrites a bit better, because even with like other characters getting their moments, you can still see like their character arcs going. And I believe like, and out of the two, I kind of like I think Rewrite succeeds that, because like Iki's character art, it's more of a subtle thing that you may not notice, but if you like learned how to look for it, you kind of get it. What I mean is that Iki's character arc is basically an elder sibling trying to figure out who he is outside of his family. Because a lot of like people I talk to,
I mean, we get that about Revice, but the thing is, there's some folks that are watching Gates that have not watched Revice.
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, don't go into like full-on spoilers when it comes to like certain things when it comes to Revice, because there are some folks that literally like dropped it halfway.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Iki's character, it's a bit of a background thing, but if you like focus on it, you kind of see like how like Iki's like coming to terms with the fact that he doesn't have to be the one person who to support the family.
You're still going into
Yeah, I was
Revice
like,
talk. Let me
We
Okay.
should
steer
just
you
not
back.
even
Let me steer
mention
you back.
Revice.
Oh
Yes.
yes, sorry.
Steer back to
anyway,
Geats.
this
Steer
is
back
why
to
I
Geats.
like the character developments in Revice better than Geats, because Revice it's like very consistent. Yes, there's a bit of a stumble,
You're
but
still going to Revice. Let's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
steer back to Geats.
I'm
But-
sure
but
you can
overall-
explain this without
Revice
mentioning
show.
Revice.
Look, I need you to
Overall-
do like the show of Revice and just forget about it for a moment.
Right.
okay, Geats I don't like. Okay, Geats' character arcs I do not like because it's always stop and pause. Go and stop, go and stop, go and stop. Like always, always, always. It's like a lot of people in my like circle, like a lot of people were like, "Why the fuck is Keiwa not haven't gotten his final form yet? Like by around this time, he should have gotten it already." And people thought like a couple of episodes back when Seiwa was when his sister was attacked, he would have gotten his final form. But nope, we are still waiting for it. So yeah, I
Yep.
think it's like
we,
the main
we can
issue.
answer this for you because we've
Kayla
talked
right
about
now
this on
is
stream
just-
almost every time. What happens is we do the 2-episode arcs, and every time it's for a different character that's not Ace. Somehow, the focus turns into Ace anyways.
Yep.
Mm.
And that's the
So,
issue the show really has.
That's what it is. Everyone else gets little steps, and then Ace gets a leap at the expense of when their story should be continuing. So they're getting growth, but it gets sacrificed from a time on screen standpoint to Ace getting more.
And it ends up being a disappointment for a lot of us that get invested into these side characters. Because if that's the point, like I'm really feeling for this franchise, they need to go back to like either the singular lead, like the singular Kamen Rider, or like a 2 Kamen Rider season or something, because they keep putting in more main characters than even like Super Sentai does currently. And their issue is they can't find the time to focus on them enough. And that's hurting these shows now. I think that's a big problem that we're having in Reiwa currently, is there's too many Kamen Riders now, and they can't focus on the actual lead because of all these other characters. Then what's the point of calling the show after like your lead if you're going to focus so much time on like Keiwa here and there, but then once it's time for like those of us that got invested in Keiwa, so it's like, oh yeah, well Ace is the main character.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did you just set up Keiwa? Why did you just set up Neon?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
Or we get Ace and Jean for like 7 episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, there's other supporters. What are they up to? It's like, by the way, I still don't know who's eating the oranges in Kakuru's Little Pocket Dimension. I have not let this go. Like, I want to be cinema about it. Like,
Look, it was better by the whole time. She was sneaking in there.
Only
Oh, yeah.
sweets.
She was showing up in her granny form and then just taking them.
That's true. She would need the vitamin C and the citric acid. Honestly, when we think about it, that is good. That is a valid point.
So yeah, of course, in the preview, like we already know that this form's only going to last like 1 episode because we already see all of the glorious shots of this nice little HD assets of this form, and this is like one of the few times I've seen a final form, and then I'm just like, this looks good. This looks damn good right here.
Nice.
Mm.
Like some folks were pointing out that the eyes remind them of the Rinnegan from Naruto as well. More fucking references. So I'm just like, man, okay, yeah, I see you, and I really do like the engine grill that we've got here going out for the chest. So it's definitely looking a lot better on there. Another really good shot here, and I'm just like, this is a clean ass form.
I hope he doesn't turn into a motorcycle and Gene doesn't ride him, because then the internet's just gonna lose their shit.
I mean, he
Gene would be
turned into
first in
Maki
line.
Thor.
Yeah, Gene would be first in line. Be like, let me ride that.
but then I got to make my third book.
I would say you could have a trilogy of books. You have an
Yeah.
anthology.
Yep, just get it all in there. Like
I got a
just
couple
like James trying to
Christians
do.
who are waiting for that pre-order.
Maybe pre-order is going to be opening up eventually, just like all of the Revice mixtapes that dropped. Eventually, they will come.
Yeah.
They won't.
No.
No. So yeah, when it comes to Geats right now, like I'm literally at that point where it's just like, all right, it's a new episode dropping, great. I'm not like in as much of an excitement rush to see what's gonna happen next, because right now it's just like, okay, yeah, we've led to this point in the show now where I'm kind of just coasting and waiting until we move on to Gotchard getting me hard and stuff. So the way it's gotta go. So until that press conference, I'm over here riding the Geats wagon until the Gotchard like shows up and just drags us all away.
I honestly
the
think the
weekend.
reason why I'm so critical of Geats is because I'm actually watching current airing Super Sentai at the same time. Because like when I was reviewing like Revice and Saber and even 01, I wasn't watching fully that invested in Super Sentai. Now that I am with King-Ohger, I feel like I'm actually harder on Kamen Rider now, because I'm just like, well, look what we're getting over here.
Yep.
And this is what we're getting over here. Look at the pacing and storytelling. And I don't even have any plot holes that I could pick apart right now. Whereas right in Ace Geats, I'm just like, what about this? What about that? Like I could have a Google Doc just like this wasn't explained, this. It'd have like just a laundry list of things. And we're realistically what they haven't released how many episodes? I assume anywhere from 48 to 50 episodes. So maybe 10 to a dozen more episodes left. And I'm like, there's no way unless we just get a crap ton of just info dump every episode. A lot of stuff's just, and it's so much time. And now I'm thinking so much time was wasted.
Mark, I don't want to be the one to tell you, but apparently, the Geats summer movie is actually going to be plot relevant for the story of Geats.
We talked about it last
Yeah,
week.
we've heard.
Nah,
We've
that
heard.
doesn't-
Yeah.
That's like, I'm not going to find the movie.
The movie can
It's not
find
like we're
me.
gonna actually like watch it until like December anyway. So
Nah, we'll get it
Yeah.
before then. Probably
so
November.
we'll see in terms of that front.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it comes to Geats right now, of course, like Crazy Orb asks this almost every week. In terms of where they're at right now, what's better? Like, is it Geats or Revice up until this point of their storyline? Because episode 38 is when we got Ultimate Revice. And of course, that would be the same episode technically for Geats when we actually get Geats 9. But of course, the lead up to it all, I'm like, by then we started hitting our like very 2-episode arcs of Revice as well, that I was getting bored as shit watching the show, because they're like, oh, now they're gonna start focusing on and wait, never mind. Now we're gonna have another 2 episodes focusing on one of the siblings, and then another 2 episodes focusing on the other sibling. Okay, great. Yeah. So, I mean, I would say Geats is doing better than Revice is currently, but we'll see how Geats is faring once they get to that episode 42 mark, because that's when Revice hit like maximum peak. So we'll see in terms of that. I don't know if anybody else has any horse in this race when it comes to how these shows are stacking up against each other. But of course, when it comes to superhero time, the comparison is always what Sentai doing versus what Kamen Rider is doing. Because I was also doing it with Revice, where it's like, well, Down Brothers has this going on, and they're tackling some of its storylines better than Revice is doing. Just like currently in King-Ohger, it's tackling some plot points that we've got in Geats much better than Geats, with Jeremy also being the prodigy of a former hero, and then, you know, someone from a different world with all that. So of course, with that, we should get going to this week's King-Ohger, unless anybody else has any last second thoughts when it comes to Geats.
Nope.
No.
Going once, going twice. All right, let's get this queued up. Let me just get this nice shot of completely not Rule 34. As we get some nice Tentacle action coming from Deathnarak out here, sustaining himself by eating some of that nice, delicious dirt.
I've seen this
And
anime.
your mouse is going crazy.
I know
Again.
it keeps like I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because I'm starting to like I'm taking advantage of my upgraded subscription and just like everything 1080p, and then it's just like your computer can't handle it. So, but yeah, of course, that's when Jeremy shows up, pissing off Deathnarak regarding the entire thing. But it's okay. He's got gifts. He's giving them the Bata core, so they can go ahead and just have that right there, because he's got plans for everybody having equal distribution when it comes to the greater shoe gods. And of course, with that, he goes ahead and says, "Deuces, I'm gonna go." But then we get reintroduced to who the hell is this guy again? Apparently, he was a very like not important character before because he got bodied in one shot, especially after getting poisoned by Raculus and all that during one of the better episodes of this this show. Actually, like this show hasn't had a bad episode yet, but I would still say really good episode.
And apparently his name is Mayfly due to chest of greatness.
Oh, Mayfly.
Still not
Cool.
calling him that.
Yeah, no. Either way, we got Jeremy in the intro now. So now, everybody get hyped because Jeremy is in the intro. Not just once, not just twice, not just 4 times, but Smug Jeremy is here.
Look at that. The king and queen of Terra right there. If you go
Like-
to the right. There we go.
I was just like, the second they threw him into the intro, and then at this tail end, I'm just like, this man is like, he's just happy to be here. He's like the only one in the cast. It's just like, it's my show now. I finally made it. I finally made it. Like the greatest out here. Like good stuff. All right, so currently another scene that can be taken out of a context. Oh my God, where did Cosmic go? Orchid, Kevin got Orchid.
Orchid knew what was coming next for the screenshot.
Yeah,
I think we all had the same
Yeah.
they weren't
jokes
ready.
in our head. When,
They weren't ready for all this. Oh, there we go again.
Sorry,
Kevin-
spill my-
we-
I
thought
spilled my
Kevin got you.
water.
Oh,
No.
did you spill it all over
In-
your computer?
in anticipation.
Was it
No.
this shot? Did this shot get you like all of the prime man meat that we've got on screen right now?
No, I was trying to drink some water.
Man, at least commit to the bit. We're out here trying to be funny.
One problem. I'm asexual.
Man, well, you know, Jeremy's
Jeremy's
out
for
here.
everybody.
Yeah, Jeremy's rated E for everyone.
Okay, on a scale of Plato to Michelangelo, he's like like an 8.
What about
Okay.
Donatello? What do you think of Donatello?
Yeah.
We're not talking Ninja Turtles?
If we're talking proper Ninja Turtles, what about Venus?
I mean, Venus is canon.
Next mutation.
I
Get
should have
that donk.
just said. I should have just went with David, like the statue.
He ain't packing. All right, so next up. Yama out here got some propositions when it comes to Jeremy because he wants to know what's going on with that fit. Because, of course, he knows he didn't make him. But, of course, he's not going to let anybody take this man's blaster like that. His mama gave him that blaster. You know, originally I was going to use the scene from Friday when the dude beats up Debo and he's just like, my grandmama gave me that chain.
Should have. That would have been great.
But then I was just like, but that's grandmama and not like mama. But I was just like,
Yeah.
But still,
but yeah, that was the initial bit that I was gonna do.
that would have been a deep cut reference too.
And
But it would have
that's
been
why,
funny.
that's why at least during the review I said his mama gave him that chain, but no one still caught the reference. But that, yeah. So yeah, pretty much showing off that his Venom mix essentially is just a giant illusion thing. It just makes a bunch of different illusions. Doesn't make it any less real in terms of like
Venom.
shooing people away in terms of those aspects. But of course, he's not going to hand that to Yama just yet. But Shiokata got the fanfics ready. because he feels that all Jeremy needs is to find out a little bit more about Yanma's backstory. Once he gets that deep dive into the man that is Yanma, Jeremy would invest.
Wait for that book to come out.
So yeah, here's more shots. Here's some more shots. You gotta get them shots ready. Get your waters ready.
So stripping bait.
There it is. It's his own thing right here. They out here getting that. I'm just like, man, peak hilarity when it comes to like a lot of these scenes, and I just didn't see that shit coming. But yeah. So of course, while all that's going on, we get Himeno in yet another new wig, which I did appreciate. She had a little bit of the red undertones in the back there, and I'm just like,
I think it's because like that's the closest like blonde color to her actual natural hair.
I mean, she did the black with red streaks like 2 episodes ago. So
Yeah.
It's like from what I saw, it's more like an amber brown than black. So
either way, here we have Gira not being able to listen out for Scorpy, and my mouse still freaking out next to Himeno.
As a
Wow. So essentially, his entire plan is, well, let me go and get caught. Which they're like, nah, bro, we're gonna dress you up. We're gonna dress you up like Sebastian, because apparently, like, his fit just is completely mass produced. Like they can make anyone into Sebastian, which is why I now think that Black Kaito is Sebastian. That's how we get Kaito in King-Ohger. When he finally takes off the makeup in the last episode, it's gonna be revealed that it was Kaito the whole time.
and what every season until the 50th season.
Yes,
Season will
he's just gonna
have
find a way. It's gonna become like the multiverse of Kaitos. And for those that saw the Don Brothers versus Zenkaiger, yeah, it's not the same guy. there's just a multiverse of Kaitos now. So yeah, be ready.
What in the 50th Super Sentai season, Red is going to be revealed to be a Kaito.
Yes, it's gonna be Kaito Sentai Kaito Ranger.
He's basically be like equivalent to like Power Rangers, the Morphin Masters, just the Kaito Masters, and they're just the cause of everything in the history of Super Sentai.
I mean, the fact that we've got like Black Zenkaiger just makes me think that we're gonna end up getting, maybe he might be like Yellow Zenkaiger in this one when he reveals himself. He's just gonna bust out a yellow suit.
Like
Hey.
he's gonna be Himeno. It
He's
doesn't change by something, honestly. It's fine. I can deal with it.
So all of that stuff right there. So of course, yeah, we get all that, and they go ahead and change Gira to look exactly like Sebastian. So yeah, the fit works. So now back to backstory, as we get a very nice illustrated scene here of Yanma growing up, because apparently back during the Fury of the Gods, the entire country of Enkasopa was just a giant ass dump, and pretty much Gin, after his newfound knowledge from Jeremy, decides to take Yanma under his wing and teach him how to pretty much get from the bottom and reach to the top. The thing that confuses me is just like, we know that he's royalty, like, right? So like, I'm still a little confused by these shots and like his backstory, because it's like, you're royalty, but you're legit look like a street rat.
He could be like from a branch line of the royal family, or he could be in the like runt of the cat of the family.
He
Well,
looks
no, there's
like
contradictory
Santa Claus.
things to it, because they even said like he fought to be the top, like in
Yep.
previous episodes. So it's like one of those things where it's like, well, is that like a proving your worth thing, or did he actually earn like?
I think
Well,
it's
that's the thing that always keeps getting thrown off, because of course episode 2 we did have that line that made it seem like you can just earn it, but then once we got the end of the Gira arc, they kind of were like, you have to be royal blood unless for it to work, unless they do an ass pull. Well, it wouldn't really be an ass pull, because there is technically precedent for it if we are to go with the assumption of, since Yanma created the suits for all of the royal arms, essentially, he could have just been like, well, mine doesn't need a royal like coating because I made it. So
Yeah, and it could also be like a transfer ship, like for like Nkasupa specifically. And also, I would like to add that it could be like, remember, like the hacking battle. It's like if you want to be in charge, you have to beat me. It's kind of like as long as like Yama is like undefeated in the hacking battles, then he would still be the ruler. If someone else beats him, then they would be the ruler.
I don't
Mm.
think I don't know if that would essentially work when it comes to like that or adoption or anything like that, just because we've seen at least with like the Raculous secret that at least like the Oja Caliber Zero definitely relies on that royal blood for it to work. Like you have to technically be a blood descendant of like that original king. And when it comes to these, since that whole trial was just like, yeah, Gira couldn't use this if he wasn't a blood like royalty. Like they kind of really set that up. So I really doubt it would be a whole like, yeah, you are now king because you've run that. So yeah, whatever. So yeah, when it comes to that, we get a nice little backstory with some nice OST. Like the OST in this show definitely be banging when it comes to.
Oh yeah, have you heard the insert song?
Which one?
Yeah, good point. Because all of them are bangers.
I'm like, which one? Like the right now, the insert songs are way better than the opening for this show. It's like one of the few times in which just like, man, every insert song is just straight up bangers compared to like the intro.
There's like it's so good that there's already an English cover for Inferno.
I see Camilo ask a question regarding my Persona lore, but no. Technically, the fusion between me and Turbo Ryuki was not SPD double. SPD double is coming soon, though. Sooner than you think. Sooner than you think. But yeah, of course, that backstory's got Jeremy's like Jimmy's rustled. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let you get in on this Venom mix. What's the worst thing you can do? I completely trust you. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Of course, what's the great plan that he's about to have? Well, when Raculous comes a knocking, asking for that Jeremy, because of course Dabowski snitched, he thinks up the amazing plan of creating a giant ass whoopee cushion.
I would do the same. It's a perfect plan.
Despite being royalty, he's a punk, so it makes sense.
Like I'm just like that's some genius thinking right there, like out of left field. That's not what I would have expected they would do, but of course the plan, and of course I had to include this in here because like Yanma's reactions when it comes to a lot of shit are like goated. He's probably my favorite blue ever, at least so far within the context of this show, and probably one of my favorite characters in this show in general. It's like him and Jeremy right now are like top tier when it comes to the characters in terms of just their character growth and their personality traits is just great. But yeah, the plan is go ahead, present it to Raculous, and then when Raculous sits on it, he just unleashes a massive phantom fart, and he is just embarrassed by it. That is the greatest plan ever.
Peak plan. Like honestly, that's how you use your tech for like good in the world.
Yep. So while everybody's just like, man, that's an amazing plan, Shiokata's like, you're going to cause an international incident, my guy. Like, I'm not going to be part of any of this. So he runs away and bumps right into completely important Ragnarok, who's definitely the way his voice comes across is very like awkward. But yeah, I guess that's the entire point since he has that little whisper talk. So of course, when Jeremy goes ahead and gets presented to Raculous, we actually do get a little bit of insight in here because Raculous is curious to find out about the history of pretty much the mythos that they've been all living under for the last 2,000 years. But Jeremy's like, you know what? That's great and all because I wrote it. But have you ever wondered about the story before 2,000 years ago? Because it seems like that attack against the Ragnarok kind of happened out of nowhere. And it kind of seems like the original king, aka your ancestor, might have just thrown somebody out under the bus to springboard a set of events in which, of course, Raculus looks like he knows what he's talking about because he gave him that look. And it's just like, nah, bro, I'm the one asking the questions. You answer my shit first. So I just thought that was a nice bit. But of course, Yama's like, wait a second, King. I got a gift for you. Just out of nowhere. There's the gift.
Sing it. A punk, once a punk, always a punk.
So of course, during all that, we get the kings all arriving in the central square, and then just got to point this out because this green screen work over here was immaculate, immaculate green screen work right here.
Listen, I understand the trouble it is to get that and not to look like that. Okay, like it's
the thing is, it's just like, and it's in the last shot as well is. Like the guy that she goes over, it looks like, I guess he wasn't fully in the green screen because it looks like someone probably, because I've done this in some of my videos as well, because I've ran into that issue where I like get out of the green screen. So they end up like tracing over his legs and just putting in like some feathering effect in there just to blur it. But that like stood out to me like a sore thumb when I saw it the first time. I was like, that's weird. And then it got weirder once Rita got in front of it. And it's just like, oh, guy just faded from existence technically. And so did that lady because that green screen right there. So, all that when the Bugnarok attack. And when the Bugnarok attack, this causes Shiokata to completely lose his balance and about to fall, which is when Yama kicks him out the way because he didn't want to set things about. Like, it was just great. And I like that he's doing like this flex man, like kissy face over here, like peak.
Listen.
This is like the Squidward, like when they beat his face in to the point that he just gets too attractive. This is Yanma just emulating that face right there.
Wrestling fans will understand this. That is a pinpoint accurate Randy Orton drop kick right there. That is perfect form, slight flex of the muscles, little pose for the camera, little charisma on the face, perfect drop kick.
Meanwhile, Shiokata just out here, and the thing is, just like I want to see like the initial shot just in regular green screen. I gotta see that, like, because like the things I would do with just that footage of this and just random green screen, so I can just make goofy backgrounds behind them. Like WWE ring obviously has to be a must, all that shit. Yeah. Like this would be great in terms of that context. But of course, in knocking Shiokata out the way, he essentially falls for the trip himself and lands on the whoopee cushion, unleashing a massive fury of animation effects. And not just one big fart, but one little squeaker shows up at the end as well, just adding on to the hilarity. And I'm just like, man, this
cherry on top right there.
Yep.
Ooh.
So just
let me guess. And looks like Jeremy's about to be pissed.
Well, the thing is, it's like mostly everybody seems amused. Even Raculus was just like, it's funny. Really funny. You got me. That's hilarious. We'll laugh again. But then it turns out that really important Bugnarok was Shiokata the whole time. So, of course, Yama's got to chase him away. But Jeremy, however, is not taking that mother slander because his mama gave him that. And, of course, they went ahead and abused that to make fart jokes. Nah, that shit don't fly. That shit don't fly with Jeremy. So he goes ahead and just beats the crap out of Yanma. And even tells him, it's like, look, my mama gave me this thing. And he's just like, really? When'd you tell me this? It's just hilarious how a lot of these characters, like, he didn't tell us shit. What do you mean? Yeah. He keeps going into, he's like, I'm telling you all this shit. Like, I've been telling you. You guys just don't realize that I'm telling you this. It's like, well, just tell us the straight truth. So, he knocks out Yama. Then Gira comes in, and he's just like, but you just don't understand it. Look, I gave the Bugnarok the Bata, piece. I gave y'all, the Scorpion piece, and I kept the other one, so all sides are equal. You just aren't getting it. And then just proceeds to beat him up. And then for anybody who's got a bondage fetish after he beats up everybody, here's Himeno wrapped up.
And who's the Okay, who's more likely to attract the male the male attracted audience in this scene?
That's not even a proper question because I mean, just look right there.
I meant like which one of the four would the male who's attracted to males like between Bowski and Gira.
They're not doing much right now.
Nah, not going on
Yeah.
over there. But that
Eh.
Himino
There's
wig,
like no like specific angle going on.
yeah,
Like even Rita's doing like that side like Sailor Moon
side
shot
profile,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
they
this
do
is
look.
probably the best Rita has looked.
Yeah, they do look a bit more
True.
sensual than the other two. So if anyone is attracted to Rita, then they are gonna be. Yep.
Look, what
Looks
I'm
like
gonna do is I'm
Sonic
gonna crop
Scorpion.
out Himeno and Rita from this shot, make a transparent background, make it free real estate to folks, and just hand that out on Discord. I'll just
Oh
be like, here
no.
you
oh,
guys.
I've already got the Himino with the.
Oh
It's
no,
It's like,
my
here you guys
You
go.
need it. I'll
free
just
Oh,
send it
no,
to you.
I
I
know
got the
a couple-
PNG
I
file.
know-
I got the PSD
Oh, no.
file. You need it.
I
I'll just
know
send it.
that a couple fellow cryptids would abuse the heck out of those PNGs.
Well, join the Discord. You're gonna get them later on.
Not gonna make that joke. Gonna keep that for myself.
So yeah, of course, this is after Jeremy goes ahead and beats down everybody and takes their swords while at it, because of course, like when the Bugnarok get big, he shows them that he's packing, and he's packing 8 legs with the debut of God Tarantula. And man, like this is a really fucking good design. The CG,
Yeah.
amazing, and like the way that they actually got the CG moving very organically was the thing that shocked me, because it literally did look like a spider coming down with all the legs
Yeah.
articulating and all that stuff. And I was like, that's good CG for Sentai right there. Like,
And,
He just
and
had
probably
that Wild
why
West.
they didn't go with like a model or a robot, because heck no way they are they able to animate all the legs in that small of a body.
They would have found a way back in like
Yeah.
'93.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Would have got
Yeah,
like
yeah.
16 guys on set just there ready. But yeah, the big thing on here is the fact that the Tarantula God can actually like just pop up with the Shoe Gods and use its own webbing to kind of like string them up like puppets. Now, whether or not they're actually being controlled by puppets or anything like that remains to be seen, as it's implied that the greater Shoe Gods are literally just supporting Jeremy, and they're like, nah, we want to do this. But we don't know if they actually want to do it, or if it's the not the tentacles, the ones up their ass that's just out here like influencing them. So of course he manages to beat him without even transforming into his final form. And of course Himeno still feels some way about all this, especially Scorpy leaving, because Scorpy's hers. She needs Scorpy. But then, of course, as Jeremy rises up to the heavens with all swords at hand, he starts building his own utopia, taking in others who are also living in the in-between, such as him, who lives pretty much half-heartedly. He wasn't really fully committed to the Bugnarok cause, because earlier Death Narak was just like, why didn't you die? Your only purpose is to die or win. You didn't win, so you should have died. Now go out there and either win or die. So Jeremy's like, nah, you're coming with me, showing that he's worth it. And he is the true king of the in-between. So once again, yeah, another really good episode of King-Ohger. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoying what they're doing with Jeremy now. And the fact that we probably still have like another 2 more episodes in this arc, if they're still keeping the same route of these
5 episode arcs.
episode arcs, yeah. Then we've got a lot more still going on. We might get the proper like Tarantula Night, maybe not this upcoming week, but the week after, to kind of like fill in things.
Episode 15 maybe.
Yeah, but I'm wondering how they end up just closing this arc and start opening up the chapter to the next thing, because I do feel that a lot of what they're leading into is finally giving us more information when it comes to the Fury of the Gods, since now Himeno's with the thought process that he might be related to the Fury of the Gods to begin with. So, Ash, what do you think about this week's episode?
I really like, once again, King-Ohger Always a banger. This episode I really liked. Like the fart jokes were really good. Like that was like crazy good. You had Mario and Luigi laughing at it. But Jeremy's whole motivation, he's gonna make like I guess he's gonna be his own kingdom, like where both sides can get along. That's gonna be his motivation. But his whole plan, although I get what he's doing, it's very flawed because hey, I'll share all these shoe gods out, but everyone's motivation is to get all the shoe gods. Like everyone's side, they want to have all of them. So that plan isn't going to work in theory, although I get what he's doing. But he's got a cool mech. I really enjoyed his mech. But not only that, was it this episode? Like he was Spider-Man whipping around the city, which was really cool to see. But yeah, this episode was like really great. I guess the others are going to get their powers back like next episode, or I'm guessing.
I mean, we see them with the swords already, like in the preview show.
So they're gonna get him back. But yeah, this episode is like really great. Like a lot to love with King-Ohger. Once again, always a banger. Always enjoying it, and I want to see where this arc is going to go because I get the feeling that this arc is going to lead into the next one, whatever it has to do with the Wrath of the Gods.
Yeah, and I guess we'll hopefully maybe see some more when it comes to Raculus. My thought process is that they're probably going to end up start focusing on Raculus soon, especially since I believe we got a date for the second episode of the Raculus Secrets, which comes out, I believe, on this Sunday, isn't it? Or is
next this weekend,
yeah. So we finally get that, and I think it's supposed to be like a 3-episode thing, so there'll be like another one after that. So I'm just like, okay, we really got to see where this is going. So I think maybe the last Raculus piece.
Yeah, this Sunday.
Okay, so that might end up wrapping up probably at the end of the next arc, but yeah, I guess we'll see when it comes to that. But Mark, what do you think about this week's episode?
This was probably one of my favorite episodes, just because I've said it since we first got introduced to Yanma and Nikosaba. Like, I want more backstory to each of these kingdoms, and I like that it's through Jeremy now because he was there. Getting this backstory, and I'm like, one of my things is I want to know more about Tofu now because that's still such a untapped land for a story standpoint.
Also,
so I'm like,
the largest country. If you look at the world map, it's the largest one.
And so my thing is we know enough about Shugodan, but learning more about Yan, because ever since that line where it's you got to get to the top of this and that, I'm like, and you fight your way. I'm like, how? Now we learned he built his own computer, rebuilt all of this kingdom. And so I really enjoy that because it's a lot of people will be thinking more of Jeremy, God Tarantula debuting, Jeremy taking their Ohger calibers a snap. But I'm thinking of from we're still getting more world building in this show, over 13 episodes in. And I'm and there's still a lot more we don't know. The fart joke got me. That's peak. I just ever listen. You tell a fart joke, I'm laughing. I don't care how old I am. You give me a good fart joke with sound effects, I'm laughing no matter what.
And it was unexpected at that because when I first watched the episode, I was not expecting that to come out of this episode.
I thought it was gonna be something to trap him. I didn't think it was gonna be a fart.
Yeah, it's just he literally wanted the Venomix just to make Raculus be embarrassed. That is hilarious in terms of levels of petty. I just want to see you take the L, my guy.
And he's I just want to embarrass you as a king. And I'm great. And then even getting Jeremy legitimately angry finally. Because he's been kind of here and there. But this was he had his trust broken. And his anger, that transformation, him angry. I was ooh, that's a good scene. Really good. And then I was thinking about this. So how easily they made up Gira to look like Sebastian. I'm what if over the years stuff has happened where they have just swapped out new Sebastians constantly?
Sebastian has always been the family butler, and it just gets changed out.
Yeah, we're on Sebastian Mark 34 or something. We've had it for there's been so many. It's what happened the last one? Oh, he aged out.
I mean, originally for my bit, I was gonna make Sebastian do the regeneration Doctor Who effect into Kaito, but I was just no, that's too much work. I'm not gonna do that. So
yeah, that's a lot. But I've also started, as I brought it up in my review, Gira barely being in the episode, I thought I was gonna be mad about that because you think he'd be the main, but I was like, we're not that many episodes in. How long could we keep the whole story revolving around Gira and Hercules? Like, you can't. You have
Yeah.
to. You
The
have to
first
let
7 episodes were already the Gira show. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like I'm really liking this sidestep, focusing on Jeremy, and then also like still building up on the other characters. It doesn't make it the Gira show.
like them, giving us backstory to each of the kingdoms. I'm like, realistically, we're 13 episodes in. You can give us more backstory and lore to, like, we still have the Fury of the Gods. We haven't talked about what did happen more than 2,000 years ago. What about, because Jeremy has his fingerprint in every kingdom to an extent. So I'm like, okay, well, give us more of his history with the other kingdoms. I'm like, that's at least up to episode 22, 23 right there. You can milk 10 episodes out of that.
Don't forget about the Bolsky sister. And I just
Listen.
noticed something.
His sister, like, there's already Himeno, like, in Morphonia. I swear, like, I can't. My cup runneth over.
Gotta be the baddest bitch ever once they show up.
If she has his personality, it's over.
And remember when like the Bowski shows up in like Dracula's castle, he like found something. Maybe it's like a secret passageway or a portal to where his sister is, and that's
we figured that out.
Yeah, the King-Ohger Zero.
Yeah,
we saw that literally in that episode, the episode right after.
Yeah, so he didn't see anything really that cool that we haven't seen, but they discovered it. Now, if his sister's like, first off, disclaimer, of age, and has his personality,
get that out there.
I'm done. I just have to put the disclaimer. I just have to no.
Mark, I gotta ask, what if she's akin to a certain character from Shin Kamen Rider?
Listen, I was thinking about doing just a Kamen Rider like waifu ranking video, and I was
I did.
Not just Kamen Rider, just like Toku in general, because I have to, because only so I could have Himeno and Morphonia in there, so I had to like Toku in general. But I was just like, man, those two, if it's the same actress,
that's hilarious. They say Kaguragi's sister is just Black Haruka, so this is bringing Haruka from Dawn Brothers. Or hey, it could be the chick that was originally supposed to play like Oni's sister, and they got her for that one episode, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's Dembowski's sister, but she's fine too. So hey, fine with that.
Have they revealed the actress yet for Dembowski's sister, or
no? They're probably gonna because they didn't even reveal who the actor was that was Gin. In there, because since we just got the back profile, so until we actually get them, then we won't really know. Because even for like the narrator that ended up being Jeremy, no one knew.
It was uncredited.
Yeah. So yeah, they're definitely playing their cards right when it comes to all that. So yeah, Orchid, what do you think about this week's episode of King-Ohger?
I really like this episode, even though it's like a bit more fillery. It still like had such good character interactions and developments, and this is why I kind of like prefer this show over Geats, because like even though like the first few episodes were focused on Gira, we still got tidbits about the other characters, like how like Yama had that CD he like played, and that it turns out it was related to his time with Jin, and so that's like a seed plant that got paid off in the most unexpected way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of things when it comes to Gin. Now I'm like more curious about Gin as well, and like all that other stuff. And I kind of want to see how Enkasopa was before the Fury of the Gods, because at first I'm just like, did they really just make a kingdom that was just a dump for Shogunam the entire time? And then they were like, nah, it was the Fury of the Gods that jacked this place up, and then Yan was the one that rebuilt it. So I'm just like, there's a lot more in terms of like they gave us the information about the Fury of the Gods like so many episodes ago, but now they're just expanding on it little by little. That it's like it's getting much better in terms of explainers.
And also, like, remember, like in the like first episode opening, where it's like after the war with Ragnarok, the other kingdoms were established. That like I read a theory that would mean that all of the first like the very first King-Ohgers were actually citizens of Shogunam, and that maybe the reason why Shogunam attacked the Ragnarok so that the humans could be able to expand. It's like they would
That's
be.
literally what I said in my review.
Oh dang it! I forgot. I keep like I have bad memory. I have really bad memory.
I'm just like, I literally said that in my review. Yeah, that's how that pretty much comes into play. It's like it seems like it was a war probably for territory in that way, because that's why probably the Bugnarok see the humans as their own infestation, because like it was probably shared Earth first, and then it's just like Greedy King was just like, nah, y'all have had this too long.
Reverse
I'm gonna go ahead.
Gurren.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much when it comes to a lot of that aspect is just, yeah, we gotta go ahead and conquer all this. Let me pull this one up. If this ends up happening, the Boski's gonna have a villain arc. The Boski sister will be fused with the inside of King-Ohger Zero as fuel. If they do something that fucking dark, and the Boski has like the like that mental crack scene of like his sister's just been like dissolved to keep the King-Ohger Zero running, like that man's gonna lose it.
I haven't watched the Recula special yet. It needs fuel or it needs sacrifice?
We don't know too much in terms of that, in terms of how it's running or anything like that. We just know that it's technically wasn't properly retrofitted with the new equipment that all the new Shoe Gods would have. So actually that might be an indicator in terms of how the old Shoe Gods may have ran before they were converted to electric power, because that's the thing they mentioned like in early episodes is Yanma converted the current Shoe Gods to running on electric power.
Yeah.
So
and not to mention, like in the regular special, it showed that the King Caliber Zero actually needs his own blood in order for it to like work. So like it is possible. So
that
it runs on human souls.
Yep, it runs on royal blood. And what better royal blood? What if he tried? Actually, that just makes me think. What if he tried using Gira initially to like power the King-Ohger Zero? Because of course, royal blood. But maybe Daddy found out and was just like, "What you doing, boy?" And then just knocks Gira away and tries to keep him safe from his brother.
I don't know if anyone's seen the scans. Stop me now if no one's seen them.
I haven't seen them because I've been busy this entire week, but you can go ahead.
Right. It looks like we might be getting another Gira and Reculus rematch from one of the scans floating around online.
Ooh. Is this going to be another Scar Mufasa situation?
Possibly.
I mean, I'd be down for it. Of course, they got to have a rematch, but first I want to see Jeremy and Reculus scrap because I need to see that fight.
I could be wrong, but I did see some scans floating around on Twitter of them throwing. I'll see if I can find them.
So yeah, that seemed like quite the thing. Let me see here. I'm trying to click on the tweet that you sent me on the DMs earlier. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. I clicked on that and I was like, oh, that's good.
Okay, so of course now any other talks when it comes to this before we move on to our spoiler-free quick talk of
No, I'm just really enjoying this, honestly.
Yeah,
like I was starting Die Ranger, but then I got so emotionally invested in King-Ohger. I'm like, I don't want to like watch any other Super Sentai while this is airing right now, because I don't want to I want to keep the palette just King-Ohger.
I was saving this for later, but I started Fires. I'm 12 episodes in.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, I gotta finish that.
No, the thing is, it's like that's how I felt when I was watching Revice. Since I was watching Down Brothers, I'm just like, Down Brothers is so much better than Revice right now. Like, right now, I'm just like,
I honestly thought about stopping watching Geats at one point, but I was like, no. Can't.
Just make a video just saying I'm done with Geats, and it'll probably get the most views ever for you because it'll be like the super clickbaity title.
Thumbnails just be just like
just you burning your merch.
Yeah. Oh.
that would be it. It's like I'm quitting Geats, and here's why: Ace is a punk bitch.
If Twitter is unhappy with like the ending of Geats, it should be one of those memes where like people just burn their manga saying I'm done with this series or something like that.
look, the Twitter reactions always end up being completely stupid because it's like these are the same folks that were like riding on the Geats like train in the very beginning, saying, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever. This is going to be amazing," and all that stuff. And then look at y'all now. Look at y'all now.
Honestly, it's like there's still people who like are loving Geats, saying it's like the best they've seen, and I'm like, okay, I don't.
You gotta watch some other shows.
That's your point. Like, I can't say anything because I like Saber, and I still think Ghost is S tier, so I can't really be the one to be like your opinion's wrong. But Twitter,
it's like Geats is like great first, but then leveled out to mid.
I don't think it's mid. I just think it's falling into some issues that have been happening often.
Graph, what have we learned? When I tend to be like first impressions are very high, the show ends up sucking. When the first impressions are very low, like Dom Brothers, it ends up being top tier. So hey,
I wish I didn't give up on Don Brothers 6 episodes in. I should have kept with it to watch it while I was there every week.
So it's like it's how it is. It's like, look, especially coming off the heels of Revice, I would say Geats, I was just like, okay, they probably learned their mistakes in terms of productions and they've course corrected in terms of these aspects. But then, yeah, that's how that
And
goes.
also my thing is with Twitter, like, look at all the people who have already turned on Shin Kamen Rider.
I haven't even read the Twitter
there's
when it comes to, like,
so many people are like, oh, I didn't like it. It was bad. It was mid. Like, Shit Ultraman was better. I'm like, well, listen, you're not wrong. Thank you for watching Shit Ultraman. Blu-ray drops in July.
I pre-ordered it.
I pre-ordered multiple copies because I will be doing a giveaway for it because I want everyone to enjoy Ultraman.
So moving on to like real quick, spoiler-free like discussion when it comes to Shin Kamen Rider, and I'm just gonna put up a quick poll real fast. In terms of the people that did watch Shin Kamen Rider in the chat, did you like Shin Kamen Rider?
Wait, are you serious? Graph asking, wait, there was a Shin Ultraman?
Yeah, I just read it. I'm like, should I make a comment
like-
about this? Because like we talked about this multiple times. There was like a big like celebration last year.
For 10 months, I harassed Subaraya for Shin Ultraman to get a US release.
And we got like one night sub and one night dub. So like,
and I saw it twice.
Yeah, Mark sent several death threats to Subaraya if I didn't get it.
Fifth Amendment right. We have that here in America. I'm using it.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth.
The fifth. Plead the fifth.
Gotta hit him with that. No, so yeah, Shin Kamen Rider obviously came out for that one night on Wednesday. It's got a repeat showing on this Monday, same time, 7 p.m. across various theaters across the U.S. But still, they didn't change any of the viewings closest to me. So I still have to drive 106 or so miles one way to the theater, to the closest theater to watch this yet again. But I'm going to do it anyway. Because
your dedication right there. We should all start a gas fund for Zio. Get this man some gas, and not the way Yanma did for Hercules. Some petrol.
So yeah. Went through all that. I luckily that like the theaters serve alcohol, so I was just like, oh yeah, let me get some pre-drinks right before. They were like, oh, you want the bottle of that? So I was like, or do you want the tap? And I was like, which one gets me more? And they were like, the tap. And I was like, well, give me 3 taps. So I got some buddies in there. I didn't. It was just for me. So I was just in there, just like slurping. Right. I was ready. I was ready to go when it comes to this film. So yeah, I mentioned in my spoiler-free like thoughts on it. So that one Shin Kamen Rider, like episode 1 portion that they released, like I think it was like 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
It's actually like the first 20 minutes of the film. It is exactly the first 20 minutes of the film. So you can get that available right now. It'll set the tone for how the film will be. And I don't know about you, Mark or Orchid, but like I've like the amount of gore in this movie, like without like getting into like the details of it.
No,
but I just found them hilarious after a while. I was legit just laughing at how absurd the amount of blood just coming out that it was.
My wife was blocking. So my wife doesn't really like a lot of gore and blood. She doesn't like the only toku she's ever seen is she went to Shin Ultraman with me, and she's seen the Warner Brothers legendary like MonsterVerse Godzilla stuff and like King Kong and Skull Island. Never seen Kamen Rider. As much merch as I have, I've never been able to convince her to watch it. She was at point. It's like, why is it? She like leaned over. She's like, "There's a lot of blood," and she's like, "Oh god, that's like." She kept just going, and I was like, "It's not even like pertinent to anything going on. It's just there." And I was just sitting there like, "Is this where the budget went? Like, is there a blood budget?" It's kind of like when you go see like from American film standpoint, like Evil Dead, where they're like, "Oh yeah, we had over 100 gallons of fake blood made."
Mhm.
And this blood was like really watery.
Yeah, it was. I was thinking like fruit gushers. This thing was like exploding, like like Gallagher like hitting a fucking watermelon. That shit was like crazy, and I just started like laughing in my seat. I was just like, "This is ridiculous," in terms of like what was going on.
I was trying to like word everything without spoiling anything. I'm like,
yeah,
blood. Yeah.
To me, the blood, it's like I seen worse.
Well,
Legit, I've seen worse.
I mean, that's the thing. It's just like the movie tends to take itself seriously, but then there's other portions in which it's just like it still can be funny in some instances, and I'm just like, okay, it works out in that sense. So I was all about that.
Yeah.
Now I will say, like, my favorite thing about this film was the fights, because like it felt like Kill Bill. It felt like Kill Bill when it comes to the fights, because every single fight felt unique. It felt like an event. It was like a boss in a video game. They all had their own unique like cinematics going on to it, their own like visual prowess that was going on with it, different camera angles and stuff like that. And I was just like, this is great. There was one that wasn't even a real proper fight. Mark knows which one I'm talking about because it's something that was not shown off in any of the trailers. Yeah. But just the way that it was played off, I was just like, there's a disturbance in my pants. But yeah.
yeah.
Like my Pepsi Zero Sugar was like almost full, and I was just like, where's the meanwhile Sononi music?
Yeah.
So like I was okay. Just before this this stream, like I was reading Kamen Rider Spirits. You should read it. It's really good. Anyway, it's like this. Like after reading it, after watching Shin Kamen Rider, it's like this. Like I'm not sure. It was like it takes like some inspiration from like Kamen Rider Spirits, like the character, like the characterization of Ichimonji, and how like each like monster is like there's a big climatic like set piece, like, and there's like also the gore. It's very bloody.
Yep.
So it's like Ano's combining Kamen Rider 1971, the Kamen Rider manga, and Kamen Rider Spirits all into one.
Yep. And along with that, they're just like finding ways to just make like different portions of it like allude to the show in a way, because like one of the fights I described where it seems like they do a lot of jump cuts, like back in the 70s when you were watching Kamen Rider, they would use like jump cuts to illustrate that they're moving really, really fast. They kind of did the same visual effect here, and I was just like, oh, that's smart, especially when they had it overlaid with like the modern effects, and I'm just like, that is hilarious, especially the use of quote unquote stock footage that they used in some of the fights as well, just to give you that feel of like you're watching the 70s shows. And I'm just like, it's great. It's great in terms of those aspects.
And I've read all the Spirit ones because I have them on my tablet. There are definitely some elements that are inspired and drawn into that.
Did you also get the Shin Kamen Rider Spirits manga?
I have all of them.
Dang it! I could only read like the translated ones online, which unfortunately for me only gets the first 9 chapters of Shin Kamen Rider Spirits.
I download or not at all. I don't do reading online. That's how I get viruses. That's how I get weird shit on my computer. Don't need that.
Yep.
But I will say this is definitely an Ano film. Like I've seen a lot of people, obviously not going to say anything specifically, pacing wise, and I was like, you guys don't understand. Like this is how it's presented. It's still like if you pay attention, it's not bad. Like, I don't know why everyone got on the pacing, because I watched it. I thought it was fine. My wife, who I will just say is a Toku casual, not even, was like, I thought it was longer. It felt longer than it was.
To me, it felt
And
shorter than it was.
Yeah, for me, like those 2 hours kind of flew. And the thing is, like when the movie starts, it just starts. There's like no real lead up. Like you start off in the action, like right away. And when it ends, I was like, really, that's it? Because the thing is, like when I first looked up at the theatrical listing, I think AMC said something like it was like 2 hours and 19 minutes. And I was like, is that previews? Because it literally ended at the 2 hour mark.
it was with all the character trailers beforehand included.
Yeah. So with that, so looking at the poll, asking the people if they liked Shin Kamen Rider, the majority of it was good, 46%, loved it, 33, hated it, 13%. And it was okay, 6%. Now, for those of you that said you hated it without going into any spoilers, can you list in the chat why you particularly actually hated it? Because I'm very curious to see, like, yes, once again, no spoilers. Just try, like, if it was story, you can explain that. Like, you can at least, like, say something like that or anything regarding if it was the characters. I will say that Hongo as a character to me was probably one of the weaker characters from here, because he just seemed like he was there along for the ride for the most part, because a lot of the focus is going to be on Ruriko, which actually I did not cared too much for in the beginning, but she definitely grew on me. I actually ended up really loving her character. But Ichimonji Haito ended up being like my favorite.
I'm still, like I said, no spoiler. Like the movie had a lot of emotion in it and this and that, and I'm still shocked because I can handle it, but I talked about it with my wife, and I don't usually, even in my content when I make videos, I don't talk about my personal life. I don't talk about my wife or anything like that. Like it's me as a content, but like hearing her sniffle and wipe like away at her eye, and I'm just like. But then also, like I said before we went live, she asked me if there's anything like this for Kamen Rider, and I said no, because she was now intrigued. And I'm like, no, I can't really recommend anything else for you to watch. That's this. Yeah,
because even like looking at other things, like this is way better than Black Sun, like bar none. Even in the 2 hours of runtime, definitely got better character development in that short time span, more world building. And I would say that, yeah, it does go into a lot of the tropes for Anno, as well as just how off the wall and like crazy it can be in some of the explainers. Like they definitely go like all over the place when it comes to some of the explainer, when it comes to like chakra as an organization. I will say that chakra is apparently an acronym for a very, very like stupid thing. Like it's just like they go into like, yeah, the most craziest acronym. If you remember, say, Gundam Seed and how everything was an acronym for something dumb, chakra is one of those acronyms. So I was like, yeah, oh wow, you guys are really doing this. Okay. There is definitely the trailers for this film do not do it any justice, because the trailers for themselves kind of left me a little bit disinterested in the film. But now going in and watching it, I'm just like, yeah, no, I understand why I didn't show any of this in the actual trailers, because it would just, it's hard to do it justice in a very small snippet. You got to be there for the full experience of it.
It's like spoiler too. Like there's so much. Like the trailer that we got was good enough, because I don't really think I could do a trailer that would do the film justice without it being full of spoilers.
Yeah, like that kind of like I think like once like Shin Kamen Rider has ran through its theatrical run and is on Blu-ray, then you could put out the trailers that are a bit more like spoilery. But yeah, I think it's good, because like most like modern trailers just spoil like major parts of the movie, and that's like, okay, I seen the trailer, so I don't need to see the film.
Yep. Yeah, you guys just gave me the entire plot point, so there's no point. And yeah, that's the thing. It's like from what they showed in the trailers, that's probably like the first 40 minutes of the film, with a little bit of like the other characters that are sprinkled throughout the film showing up in there. But otherwise, there's not there's really no substance to those trailers versus what you actually get in here. The sound design is really great in this as well, because there's a lot of like audible cues to like the old shows and remixes of old tracks in the OST as well. It's great when it comes to a lot of that.
I knew the music was good because in Shin Ultraman, Anno did a great job with the sound engineering and the music and everything else. Like, I tell everyone, if you enjoyed Shin Ultraman, like, you're gonna love this. Even though I personally put Shin Ultraman ahead of it, just because for me, I have a longer attachment to Ultraman than I do Kamen Rider. But like, and I feel like if Shin Ultraman didn't perform as well as it did, we might not have even gotten Shin Kamen Rider here, because those fools made $700,000 in 2 days for 2 showings total. Like, it wasn't even available everywhere.
The thing for me was that I was a little concerned because, of course, having seen Shin Godzilla and Shin Ultraman, and of course their fights. Well, not really fight in Shin Godzilla, but you know the scale of it all being much larger in a way. I was like, how are they going to handle that in a smaller scale and beautifully at that? Beautifully. It was great because, like I said, these fights are like memorable to the point that like after I was done with it, I was like going through all of the fights in my head. Loved pretty much almost every single one of them, but I had like 2 that just stood out way more for me. But yeah, that was definitely a overall really good experience when it comes to all that. Plus, look, we're in a fandom that we don't get theatrical releases for Kamen Rider. So I was just
much less good ones.
Yeah, so the fact that we actually got a theatrical release, I was just like, of course I'm going to drive the hour 40 minutes to this place just to watch a film in the theaters, because whenever am I going to get another chance besides if I go to Japan for a summer movie or something like that? Like, it's a different thing.
Also, this is the point where someone like, because we've talked about the controversy when these tweets go out, like a Team Kamen Rider, this and that, instead of them implying the whole put your money where your mouth is to pre-order merch to get more in the States, this is a time when they should have been like, man, if we get a lot of tickets, like if we like, this could be the real thing that's gonna get Toei's attention, not a toy.
Yeah, not a toy, not a DVD.
A toy DVD, because they don't care about the DVDs. You already paid your money to get the licensing to it to distribute it yourself. They don't front the bill on that. You give them money, they give you it, you release it. They don't. Their hands are washed clean of that. This was the proving ground for Toku in the West.
Plus, it's working because several of us, like yourself and myself, are gonna go to that following event just so we can watch the film again.
When I told my wife there's another showing on Monday, she's like, oh, so wait, there's no other days? This was the only day? I'm like, yeah. She's like, so the only time is Monday now? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna go. She's like, yeah, put 2 tickets in the cart. I'm like, okay. Because and now with the word of mouth, like I said before we're live, I looked at the same map picking seats. When I went 20, maybe 18 to 20 seats total, including our 2 seats. This time around, it's like almost 2/3 full.
Now, I will say this for anybody who did not go to the first viewing and plans on going to the second viewing, it starts exactly at the time that it is intended to start.
No previews.
Because for my showing, and pretty much everybody else can attest to this, like I had a lot of folks that came in like 20 minutes after the film started because they thought, oh yeah, 7 o'clock doesn't mean 7 o'clock. That means we're going to get like 20 to 30 minutes of previews. And then, we're going to get the film. Nah. That thing started exactly at 7 because after the film was over, I stayed chit-chatting with several strangers in the theater right after. And they were like, is it me or did the movie start early? And I was like, nah, that shit started on time. It did what no other film did. So,
And Rooney Henshin, no, we don't know how much it made on Wednesday. We're not going to get those numbers probably for at least
a month or so.
Yeah, at minimum, like 2 to 3 weeks. Because we didn't get the Ultraman numbers until almost a month and a half, almost 2 months after it came out. Because we talked about the numbers briefly on here, and that was in like the end of April, so it was March, so it was like about a month.
Mm.
Also, to remember the time it starts at 7, and 7 rhymes with Kevin. If you don't get there on time, you're a fucking Kevin.
Or
and
Kevin's gonna
also,
get you.
Yep.
and also, let's talk about what belts we wore or what characters we cosplay as.
Nothing.
So I wore my CSM Agito Alter ring to the point that I still have it upstairs, so it's not even back there yet.
Mm.
But I am probably gonna rock the Vision Driver for when I go up there on Monday.
You wore a CSM out in public to a
Yes.
movie theater?
And I wore it during the entire car ride to the theater. So for an hour 40 minutes in the car, that thing was strapped on my waist.
That sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah, if you listen to like the beginning of my video that I posted up earlier, since I'm in the car, you can kind of hear plastic squeaks as I'm talking. That's the CSM in my waist.
The belt just hitting See, I couldn't like bring myself to be like, all right, do I bring a CSM? Like, obviously I'm not gonna wear a DX because I need the belt extenders. But I was like, I'm not gonna rock a CS. Like, the CSMs I have are like outside of the Gaim one, which is what, like 150. No, that's not really that much. But I was like, you think I'm about to rate the seal on my freaking Garen buckle CSM? No. My blade buckle? No. And I was like, I can't justify wearing it. Like, that's why when I see people's CSMs, I'm like, someone was wearing the freaking Black Sun CSM. I saw on Twitter, and I was like, bro, you got $485 around your waist right now. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's crazy.
Hey, they got theirs. Look, at my showing, like there were a few people rocking belts. Two gentlemen next to me were rocking the Legend series belts of the original Ichigo and the Kuga one. So
Nice.
when I showed up, they were like, "Oh, you brought a belt too," and then I blinded them with my flashlight.
Yeah. You were just
I
like,
was just like, might as well. Yeah, let me do that.
For me, I dressed it as Ruiko because like she's like the easiest to cosplay. Like because I just got fresh out of college and I don't even have a belt. I just ordered like the double driver since like I could like 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 I could like get a striped shirt for Philip and get some pants, and I'm currently like sewing like Philip's jacket because ain't no way am I ordering the premium Bandai like Philip jacket or any cosplay thing. So like I dress as Ruiko, and it's like I even like bought a trench coat for it. I plan to attend Anime Expo, so like for like 1 or 2 days, I'll be dressed up as Ruiko, and I'll be dressed up as Philip for the other 2 days.
So
Anime Expo LA.
Yeah.
I'm not dressing up when I go there.
y'all
I'm there for
Cali folks
merch.
out here.
Hey, listen. It's not
Look,
that far. Power Morphicon next year.
What are you talking about? It's far from me.
I
I'm
gotta
in the
fly-
East Coast.
I know my
And it's
I have to
very
fly
far from
3,000
me.
miles to go see my family every time they want to be like, hey, you want to see me? And I'm like, God, I gotta pay freaking
I'm not
$900 round
going
trip.
from
Stupid.
Georgia to California, where it's high more than my tax bracket when it comes to like living expenses. So
Power
I can't afford to
Morphicon.
go.
You
there.
could do it. We got time. It's over a year until Power Morphicon.
Yeah.
I'll get you something nice at Japan World Heroes.
Ooh, you're
I'm
gonna
like- I'm
attend this year
thinking of-
because I'm
Ultimate
planning to.
Gaia's actor is going to be there. Of course, I'm
Oh,
going.
I'm like going along with friends and I'm like really excited. If an actor from Gal Ranger appears, you better buy your tickets because any Vietnamese Toku fan would buy a ticket instantly.
I mean, one, I'm not Vietnamese, but two, I don't even know what Power Ranger is. So,
It's Wild Force.
don't know what that is either. Never seen it.
Damn.
I really haven't. Like, so I don't
Yeah, I
know.
feel you.
Just
That's
know
okay.
that Gal Ranger is like the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger season for Vietnam. It's like really popular. When two of the actors visited Vietnam for an event, tickets sold out in 3 days.
Meanwhile, Vietnam.
I will go if a certain wasp shows up. I will bring my EpiPen with me because I'm allergic to bees. But when I tell you, I started sweating in that theater, which had the AC cranked on it, and I'm sitting there just like with my little napkin full of popcorn butter.
Oh, I bet you would have loved.
Bro,
to
it
be
wasn't
part
just
of this
Wasp,
car
but there's
ride.
another character
No,
that we
that's
will not
no, I
name.
can't- no, I'm not gonna
Redacted.
name. No,
Redacted.
redacted.
But there is, redacted character that we shall not name in this was Like, you know, all these, like, even Sononi can take a back seat to this one. That's all I'm saying.
I was
Were they in
just
the
like,
trailer? Or
No,
what is-
that's why we're saying redacted.
no,
okay,
no,
okay.
this one isn't. No, I was just like, who's Himino who? Like, there's
I
no
was just
waifu
like,
war.
wait, I'm in
Onimo.
the theaters with a bunch of, oh my god, like this is weird. I feel like I'm watching like an actual flick with a bunch of guys over here
Yeah.
in the it's kind of weird, but you know what? I'm gonna
Yeah.
get immersed.
I was
Get
just
these
like,
recliners ready.
also there, because I got the big pop because I have like it's Regal Cinema, so I got the app and I had so many points. I'm like, oh, free popcorn upgrade on top of the birthday popcorn, so I got the large for free, extra butter. So my hands were already kind of slippery and like and moisturized the proper consistency with the butter, and I'm like, you know, it's dark in this theater. I was like,
You gotta get to it. You gotta get to it.
I was sitting there like cracking my knuckles. Wife's like, "What are you doing over there?" I'm like, "Oh, my hands are cramping up." Well, not yet, anyways. But I was like, you know, the old wrist injury, carpal tunnel surgery. You know,
I'm just like when I go to like my my Monday showing, since I'll be prepared for this film now. It's like I wonder if I should. No, I'm just wondering if I should just put the on my phone, so when it happens, like it just starts playing on my phone, and I just start aggressively drinking.
Listen, Vin Graph, you guys, it's the bit. I'm playing it up a little bit mentally, yes, but I wasn't sitting there lubing up my hands with butter. Okay, jeez, I had lotion in hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
already
that's
in my
hard to get out
pocket.
the crevices after.
Yeah, I had hand sanitizer, so it could be clean.
No, but it just goes to show a lot of the aspects of this film. Like, I really enjoyed it. Definitely deserves that second viewing experience. And the thing is, just like, I also enjoyed just the fact that it was in theaters, meeting other strangers that actually are. And I also did get recognized in the theater, which was like threw me off.
Well, I mean,
because someone, like, a guy was just like, "Wait, you Zio Agito?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "I got a good deal off an Amazon driver because of you." And I was like, "Oh." They watched my Amazon CSM review.
I don't take this wrong way, but you are kind of recognizable. I can't put my hand on why you're recognizable.
I don't know what
I
it
think
is.
it's the
could
red hair.
be. Honestly, I think it's the necklace. It probably is, or the fact that you're carrying 3 beers. You're like, oh, there goes you. Yeah, figured 3 beers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
I actually met like my friend who came along with me, dressed up as Sento with the bill belt, and another like we met another moviegoer who dressed as Keiwa from X8, and we like had like we were taking photos on our phones, but then someone came up and asked for us to like pose together.
Oh wait, I
That's
didn't
so
talk.
cool.
Oh, this was a Discord. So while I was there, I saw someone wearing a Toei animation jacket, right? But it wasn't the one you could buy online or at conventions because it actually had like a lot of Japanese on it and this and that, and it like looked official. This that couldn't get the guy's name, very secretive. But I was like, did John Toei send the Pinkertons after me? I was like, is this a hit? Did you know I'd be here? You knew I'd be here. It's like, so I thought Toei put the hit squad out on me, but I thought it was really cool. And I actually briefly talked to the guy. Like, one thing was really cool is there was a guy who I assume either brought his either younger sibling or offspring that was about 11 or 12. And I was like, that's kind of a cool like experience to have. Like, here you go. Here's experience your first Kamen Rider. And it's in theaters for the first time ever.
Well,
enjoy all the blood. Enjoy all the red colored water.
Well, I didn't watch the 20-minute thing, so I didn't even because I thought that was something for the movie, so I just never watched it, so I didn't even know that was going to happen.
Yeah, because at first, like, a lot of folks were like, "Yeah, that's not technically stuff that's in the film," and then like when it started playing, I'm just like, "Oh, been here, done that. I'm just gonna chug these drinks real fast so I can completely get inebriated for this film and write it out by the time I actually start hitting the road when this film is over. So let's go."
Oh yeah, we did see that the main actor interpreter
that was out here
for the US.
Wasn't at that theater, and I'm very mad.
Yeah, me too.
That was the LA theater that had it, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Which one? Because I was in the one in Burbank, but I ran late. So
wait, what? Like, it wasn't Burbank.
Oh, thank God.
No. This is what Ash sent earlier of the guy going to
Yeah.
the premiere. Ready.
That's so good.
Mhm.
See, Mark, you gotta now go to the Monday showing, rocking some fit.
Yeah.
I'll wear my other
You got-
merch and try and sell more. Because there's more people there, more potential buyers. I got bills to pay. The Kabuto CSM's coming out,
Mhm.
and the Ryuki one I pre-ordered, and all those Fies ones.
Oh
See,
yeah.
I'm just gonna show it with my Meanwhile Sononi shirt that no one can ever buy, and then the Vision Driver. There you go. I'll be set. I'll be good.
I'm gonna release 2 new Meanwhile ones for Redacted.
For Redacted. Yep. Redacted character is best character.
I will give everyone 1 week from Monday of me not saying anything spoilery, and then merch is dropping. I'll set up a freaking. I'll go old school. Pop over to my trunk. Be like, here's some mixtapes. Here's some DVDs from the late 1990s that I got off of LimeWire and burnt. Like, boom, good to go.
Yeah, I probably can't make it on Monday because I have a bunch of stuff, including my driver's test.
Your driver's pants. What would you say?
Driver's
Test?
test.
Okay.
Just do a part of the test. Just drive to the theater.
There you go. Yeah. Take
Can you
your
parallel
instructions
park?
to
Yes,
the
I
movie.
can. Can I back into the spot? Yes, you can. Once you're backed in, be like, okay, while you're grading this, I'll be back in 2 hours. Just say you have irritable bowel syndrome, and it's gonna be about 2 hours, and then you grab like Pops from Friday, grab the whole aerosol can, and just go in there and just start spraying around while you're in the back, and then make them think you're in the bathroom.
Yeah, it works. It works. So, any other things to say about Shin Kamen Rider before we wrap things up? Because, like I said, I was trying to go early tonight because I got to hit the road at like 2:30 in the morning.
Love the film. I only had one like minor nitpick with one scene, but that's about it.
My only thing is, and this isn't much of a real spoiler or anything because we know that there's technically like Ano wants to make a sequel,
Yeah.
but the ending is kind of sequel bait. Like, I'll just say that.
Hmm.
I hope there's a sequel. I didn't even know that because I literally went in. I only saw the trailer and
Yeah.
nothing else. So
Because
I
when
didn't
it
know
ends, I'm just like, that's it? Really? Nah. There's got to be more. Y'all literally just set up some foundations for some more. So I'm just
And
like,
not to
where is it?
mention, like one character is like we don't know their fate.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that happens with
Mhm.
with that piece of
I
it,
ain't
which
saying
I won't
nothing.
get into. But otherwise, I'm just like, yeah, it definitely is sequel bait, and I'm just
Shin V3 or
I would say I don't think so.
I think he said in interviews that he wants to sort of tell the rest of the manga, but I haven't read the Kamen Rider manga. I've got it, but I haven't read it.
What?
I would say in the
be okay
tone
with
of
that.
things, it's gonna be a much different way than say like when we got Kamen Rider the first and it led
Yeah,
technically
then
kind
Oh,
of led into
definitely,
the next.
yeah.
From a best way to describe it, if you've seen the original Kamen Rider, you read the manga of the original, and you read Kamen Rider Spirits, you get the general idea of the tone.
Yeah,
Mm.
in terms of that, I did actually right after the film was over, the one gentleman that recognized me, he came up to me and asked like he pretty much said that he thought that in terms of an introductory film to get into Kamen Rider, he thought that the first actually did it better
Mhm.
than Shin Kamen Rider, and I can
get
understand that in terms of tone and the proper, or because we get like technically proper origin of Hongo in Kamen Rider the first, while here he's already like Kamen Rider from the beginning because of course that's there. So if you're a fan of your origin stories, then you watch the first. If you're like tired of origin stories, like how many times is Uncle Ben gonna die, then you jump into Shin Kamen Rider in terms of that sense because they kind of like already have the ball rolling when you jump into this film.
Uncle Ben dies.
Aunt May.
True. I will say this also: if you haven't already, go get your copy of SD Shin Kamen Rider Rumble, because right after the movie, I was like, okay, now I can go to play it. Holy, it's so much fun, especially when you get towards the end of the game itself. Certain characters become playable characters, and you unlock a co-op mode. But then you also get a co-op mode where you play as one character, the computer plays as another. And there's other game modes after you finish it. And
Not to
also,
mention the DLC.
yes, and Shin Godzilla is added next week. And I've actually been the Shin EVA unit, I haven't been enjoying playing as it because it's kind of doesn't play the good, but Shin Ultraman and Shin Kamen Rider side by side fighting waves of Shocker is very entertaining. And it doesn't, I thought everyone was like, oh, it's going to spoil the movie. It doesn't, because it has kind of its own story to it where it doesn't go in depth with the movie. So
that's what I was going to ask, is now having seen the film, how much
it does. It's just the idea of Kamen Rider needing to stop Shocker and what Shocker's after. That's the only thing that's really like the story of it. The only thing that would be a spoiler is the last two levels, because it reveals characters that weren't in any of the trailers.
Okay.
Basically, the last two chapters are the last like 30 minutes of the film.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
But with no dialogue that really pushes the plot like from the movie. It's like some throwaway lines and that's it. And then it's just action.
I'm looking at the box art for the game, and it's got a little text box saying like asterisk, this game contains spoilers for Shin Kamen Rider movie.
Yeah, it's basically the last two levels will give away basically like
the big twist that's going to happen.
The villains and everything else that's in the film. Other than that.
Yeah, so if you want to avoid all that stuff, don't get the game, or get the game now. Just don't unwrap it until after you watch.
Just play the first level over and over again, like I did, until the skill tree was almost filled up and you were OP, and then you literally just dominate the rest of the game.
Well, here's like seeing if a potential like might show up from the theatrical release with a certain someone rocking a certain pair of glasses in the theater. And we'll see how that drops.
Okay, everything's blurry. I can't see. Okay, that hurt.
See when that drops in the high seas, all that cam rip. I will say another thing. I don't know if you guys had any outbursts in your theaters while you were there.
Nope.
No?
I saw tweets where some people had moments.
Yeah, I saw some tweets.
I had a guy in my theater, probably like some college kid or something, that during a particular scene in which we get the two riders, he just goes like, "Oh my God, is that Power Rangers?" And it was just like audible groans, like really.
God dang it.
I sneezed, like, and I felt bad. And then during some of the quiet scenes, like, you know, when your drink cup gets a little low and the ice does that little weird noise, and I'm like, and it's like, and I'm like, oh God, that was so loud.
I mean, I was next to a guy that was like a loud popcorn eater, and I was just like,
nah. And then
at one point, a guy literally like sat next to me in the beginning. He pulled out his phone for like a good first 20 minutes, and then he disappeared. I never saw him again. And I was like, the fuck? What? What?
He's like, this isn't Little Mermaid. I will say I saw some tweets where people clapping and hooting and hollering during scenes, and I'm like, that is I will hit somebody.
I had some
that happened in my theater, and I was one of them.
I did not clap.
Cosmic, I assume you just did like so many noise. You're like, ooh, and just like I assumed you were clapping.
Yeah, and
screaming.
I mean, after you broke some people's eardrums with your screaming over Blazer, I'm expecting that now. So, I mean, we had some clapping going on, and I was just like, man, people used to roast Americans for clapping in the theater. Why are y'all still doing this? Like, stop.
Even with the credits, no one clapped. Like, everyone just sat there kind of chill, just like watching the credits and that, and then walking out. People were just like still like talking, but like, yo, that was good. Like, I was. And then, you know, I talked.
There is no post credits, by the way, folks.
Yeah, I sat through it, and I sang
at the very
ending.
What you're gonna get is an HD version of the original 1970s Kamen Rider opening. That's it. That's all you're gonna get right after.
Yeah. That's on Tokushatsu, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all you're gonna get.
I also like, there's nothing at the end, but I'm like, I'm gonna watch the credits just because, like, to digest the fact that I just saw Kamen Rider in a theater. But then,
And
man,
then more Kamen Rider starts playing.
that large freaking
The actual theme started playing. I was like, all right, let's see how many of you are actually gonna sing and actually get the lyrics right.
One of them, me.
It was like me and like 3 other guys, and then I heard a couple people like start mumbling, and it's just like, nah, big fan boo, big fan boo.
I don't sing in public, and I don't do it for free, so they weren't gonna hear shit from me. You gotta pay. Onlyhunchins.com.
Yeah. It's the way to do it, but definitely worth the experience, guys. So if you can't see it in theaters, go do it.
It obviously, if you are here watching every Friday, I will be actively looking for any announcements for physical releases. I know a lot of people are speculating because of Amazon. Maybe they'd have it streaming on Prime. That'd be cool. No, I want a physical release.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a physical
like
media guy.
If Amazon somehow goes bankrupt and it's like gonna be like closed, I want something so I can still watch it.
Like, hopefully, Shout Factory is on this and they can like put this out. Like they hear, they know.
It depends on who would bid for it.
Says there were like 7 people in my theater that were straight up Instagram recording the whole movie.
What?
Why didn't I see those videos on my feed? Well, it's like what I said, when Dragon Ball Super Superhero came out, there was live streams on YouTube where someone had their phone like angled where you could watch the entire movie. It was like in between the seats.
No, there was also that when like Dragon Ball Super Broly came out. Like, I remember going to the theater there, and the dude next to me that shows up like right as the movie was started from the very beginning, he just pulls out his phone, like
pulls out a camcorder.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, time to watch the eradication of the Super Saiyans here, guys. And I'm just like, really? Come on now. But yeah, like you're gonna get those folks from time to time, but shit, like it's dumb in some instances because it's just like it does ruin the experience for those people that are next to you. Like for me, like seeing people with like their bright ass phones right next to me, I'm just like,
oh yeah, turn like fucking auto brightness is a bitch. But with the whole hooping and hollering, like I've had that in some movies. I think like the only like anime movie I've had it, I think when I saw Naruto The Last, there was like a big audience cheer when Naruto confessed his love. And then Endgame, they got a big pop as well.
Yeah, Endgame and Infinity War, like the majority of those Marvel films, like there was like cheering. Endgame, like when Cap got the hammer, like spoiler alert.
When he said assemble, I saw someone take a large popcorn and like throw it up in the air, and it was like everyone. I'm like, bro.
Can I tell my funny Endgame story?
Go ahead.
Spoilers. So when Tony dies at the end, my friend is sitting next to his girlfriend and he just hears crying, and he's like, oh shit, girlfriend's crying, sad moment. Goes to grab her hand, looks at her, she's perfectly fine, looks over some more, there's this guy like crying beside her that he thought was his girlfriend that was crying.
Nah, my friend cried. So I get that. Like, there's a lot of grown dudes. Like, it's like the guy from the cop from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And he like sucks a tear back in. It's like no cry.
I mean, for me, it was during Last Jedi.
Crying. It's just that he thought that his girlfriend was crying, went to grab her hand, and she was perfectly fine.
Like, I personally enjoyed The Last Jedi just because of one guy in the theater's reaction being so extreme that I'm just like, I love this movie only for the reaction it got out of you. Because
I think you've told that story to me and Danny before. I can't remember.
Yeah. So essentially, like in the scene where, of course, spoiler alert, Luke dies. Like the thing is, throughout the film, like you hear like this guy like just cheering and stuff like that. But then once Luke dies, I see a shoe like go up to the screen.
What the fuck?
The dude's literally throwing his shoes like at the screen, just pissed off. And just like, no, you just like, I'm just like, oh my God, what is going on? Now, by the time the film is over and we're walking by, I just see this man, like, he's probably next to like his girlfriend or something like that. But like, she's sitting on a seat, and for real, I just see the guy like hunched over next to her, like.
Like, what kind of shoe was it? Was it like Black Air Forces?
And I was just like, I love this film. I love this film now, just
That's-
because of this reaction.
That's ridiculous.
Like I'd never seen, and the thing is just like, once I found out like all the fans also hating it, like because of all that afterwards, I'm just like, yeah, this guy is a literal interpretation of all the Last Jedi.
all the fans.
Man. So that was definitely a really hilarious experience for me in the theaters. But luckily, nothing like that when it comes to Shin Kamen Rider. I'll be that guy next time. I'll be like, when they henshin, I'll just get up from my seat and I'll just audibly like say henshin. Rider, henshin. I'll just be that guy.
Bring this.
I'll just blame it on the alcohol. No. It's like, I thought this was America. Where we henshin with our pants.
You don't even
down.
say henshin, you say transform out loud instead of henshin.
Oh, people would get pissed.
Translator's note: transform means henshin in American.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll see. All right. Any last second thoughts before we go ahead and close things out for tonight, guys?
No.
Go see Shin Kamen Rider on Monday if you haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
Or go see it
and
again.
if you're in Australia, well, fuck Australia. Because they ain't got it.
We'll start a petition. We will get it there somehow.
I'll see it within a couple of months if I'm lucky. I mean, people are being very respectful and not spoiling it online. Like, the only spoilers I've seen is like the second trailer they dropped, but that just fell into my algorithm on Instagram. But yeah, I haven't even watched the 20-minute intro thing. But yeah, I'll see it eventually. I mean, I'm kicking myself in the foot because like when I was checking Twitter when I checked Twitter before work that day, it was like nothing but Shin Kamen Rider over my feed of everyone going to see it.
Yeah, I was concerned with anything when it came to like spoilers and all that stuff. And of course, like some things were already technically spoiled online in terms of like the final villain and all that stuff, but it didn't play out the way that I thought it would. So that's another thing as well. So even though some things were spoiled ahead of time, it wasn't spoiled to the extent of like you already know everything.
My worry was everyone on the East Coast, their showings ended an hour before the West Coast showings even started. So I was like, please, like, remember time zones exist. Like, just don't. Even now, I still haven't done any spoilers on Twitter because I'm like, a lot of people didn't get to go see it. Wednesday is a tough day in the middle of the week to go see a movie. Monday, equally, not as smart of a choice, but I get it with Spider-Verse being out now, Fast and Furious, soon to be Transformers. They can't. Toei's not going to spend that money to have theaters put it in on a Friday or Saturday spot. Like, I'm sorry, those are like the big ticket movies.
They're the big movies,
yeah. Like, so, but Monday, and I was like, a lot of people I know who haven't seen it yet are seeing it Monday. That's why even I'm gonna do spoiler free, like something maybe, but I'm gonna wait until like Thursday or Friday to even like just to give people time to like digest it and everything else, because I've already seen like my YouTube feed was flooded this morning with Shin Kamen Rider videos, and I'm like, all right, I got like through like 3 of them, and I was like, all right, like I can't, like y'all are just saying the same thing now.
The thing for me, especially since we do review this content and stuff like that, is like I don't feel right reviewing something I've only seen once.
That too.
Yeah, because I'm just like, it's not enough time. I got to be able to like nitpick now that I know how it plays out, see if there's like certain seed plants that happen throughout the film or anything like that would like either elevate or degrade the film in some way, shape, or form. Like, you want to try and be constructive in your criticism. And if you just go based off of an initial viewing, then yeah, it would probably rank much higher than it could potentially be, or actually even lower. It just depends on all that information. So
prime example,
why I'm doing it.
I just watched Shazam 2 because it's on HBO or Max, wherever they call it now. I actually enjoyed it the second time more than I did the first time. I didn't even really care for it the first time I saw it. And I was like, this isn't that bad of a movie. Ant-Man Quantumania was still trash, though. But that's besides.
I just watched that the other day.
I've yet to watch it. Maybe it'll be my weekend. Maybe
it's on. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus now.
Yes,
yeah. I'm mad because I saw it in theaters, and then I was like, let me give it another chance on Disney Plus, and I was like, I'll just watch Shazam again.
Yeah, I watched Quantumania the other day, and I was like, oh, okay. It's a film.
Yeah, no.
MCU just ain't doing it the same.
Dude, though, I know.
For the people asking about the Meanwhile Sononi contest, well, clearly Orchid didn't win. Clearly. Because, yeah, essentially what's going to happen is after I get my Down Brothers V's and Kaiju review out, I'm going to start working on that tomorrow. Don't know if I'm going to be able to film it all tomorrow or not, because I'm also going to be working on my cosplay tomorrow. Because Saturday's like the only day that I've got to really like work on cosplay, and I got to get it done before October. So I'll start like working on that stuff. But once I get that review properly out, since of course several of the clips from that will be included in there, then I'll have proper voting for each Meanwhile Sononi clip, and especially, well, the ones that got S rank in the voting, because I still have the notes on who got S ranks, and those are going to see who's reign supreme.
Everything I do is S rank. Everything I do is S rank. Everything.
So, all right, closing things out. Orchid, where can people find you at?
Oh, I'm on YouTube at Cosmic Orchids 655. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. No, Instagram and Twitter. It's professional.
Say,
I'm
who
working.
uses Facebook anymore?
Yeah, I just Anyway, and I'm also on Tumblr, second time, and
Wait, where are you?
Yeah.
Laying that bait.
Yeah. I don't have much content out, but I'll be working on some personal projects, fan webcomic, and
My child.
and I'll be posting videos real soon. Thinking about talking about Lady Battle Cop.
I was gonna adjust the hat so Daiji was my hat.
You're not going to talk about peak Toku adjacent show called Miraculous Ladybug and their new film coming out? Bro, if y'all hating on Ladybug, y'all missing out. Ladybug.
Never seen it.
I mean, I know of it. I'm seeing Christina V in June when she comes to my state, so I'll say hi to her.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Orchid? Or are you done with your plug? I think we broke Orchid.
Yeah, did.
We broke Orchid. All right, Mark, where can people find you at?
I was like, wait, what? You
Where can people find you at? At the Walmart parking lot. Oh my God, we can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh no, it's broken.
I just see eye shifting.
Daiji broke you as well. Nope, you don't exist. Leave and come back. Damn.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
Kevin
cool.
killed Orchid, and Daiji killed Orchid, and now Daiji killed Mark. So Ash, where can we find you at?
I'm next. I better wrap this up quick. I'm next. You can find me over at Deoxy360 on the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Instagrams. I am very close to, which is fucking crazy. I am closing in on 15K, like 5 subs away, which is fucking insane. So hard to believe, but yeah, find me on YouTubes and stuff. Don't know what content I'm going to push out this week apart from the usual reviews, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Man, I can't even imagine that amount of sub count. Like, I'm struggling just to get to 2,600. Like, I thought I would hit it this week, but then I didn't. Like, I keep like staying in the 90s.
Yeah, I was like fluctuating. Like, I was fluctuating. I think like once and always boosted me, but I've been playing around with the shorts.
Yep. All right, Mark is back.
Okay, cool. Do I work now? Do I have audio?
Yes, we hear you.
It did, like, it changed my audio to like my webcam that's not even plugged in, and I was like, what the hell? Because I just changed it back.
It was Daiji right next to you.
Daiji.
Yeah. Spreading those L's.
Why you look like that? So you can find me on Nerd Name Mark everywhere. I'm finally going to be talking about the Kamen Rider 01 comic. Yes, this is all the covers. I have all of them.
You single-handedly like funded their return effort. Dude, they're gonna make a sequel because of you now. So, you're welcome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're gonna get a big thank you tweet thanks to a nerd named Mark. We can now make a sequel. It's all thanks to you.
So I read all 4.
That says it all.
My comic book fan is just like, man, there's some decent artwork. This isn't a bad comic. But then the Kamen Rider fans just like, why does this exist? Who is this for? It's not for 01 fans. It's not for Kamen Rider fans. I don't know. And then, so I'm doing actually a lot of comic book and Toku adjacent stuff. I'm actually going to be talking about some more Massiverse stuff. So I'm reading more trades. I just got the Blacklight edition of issue 24. So the whole comic book is in Blacklight, and they give you a little keychain. And
when does 25 come out?
25 is July because they took June off just for like Supermassive, but we are getting Rogue Sun and Dead Lucky.
Okay.
So we're still getting those.
I still need to catch up on Rogue Sun and Dead Lucky.
Oh, Rogue Sun. Yeah, Volume 2 just came out for the trade. So that's up to issue 10. So
there's stuff in Supermassive 2023 that happened that I had no idea what they were talking about with Rogue Sun.
The Rogue Sun, they did some major things with Rogue Sun. So I'm trying to do some more Toku adjacent stuff. I'm about to hit the 4th anniversary of my podcast, which I only have been doing on YouTube for a video format for like a year, but I've been doing that since 2019, and I'm approaching episode 150, and I'm trying to get a very specific comic book writer who has done a lot of Toku adjacent comics for IPs and kind of created his own universe for Image. So I'm trying to get someone on my podcast for that to talk about stuff, because his newsletter he puts out weekly, he actually saw Shin Kamen Rider and he talked about it, and I was like, ooh, so we could talk some Kamen Rider 2 on top of this. So my Toku content isn't winding down. I'm just like, I love doing this stream. I love doing my King-Ohger and my Geats reviews, but I kind of want to try and do some like Toku adjacent content, talk about like Garo, Toku video games, other forms of media that are inspired by Toku, because I can't just keep only talking about Geats and King-Ohger.
I will tell you that be careful about using Garo footage in any videos.
Oh, I won't use any footage. Yeah. I tried to do a video before. It's not on my channel anymore, and I didn't even use like barely any footage, and it was like 3-second clips here and there, and they were still like, oh, you want to show Garo? No.
They're
like, strike, bitch. I'm like, damn.
Yep, that's how it is. Meanwhile, I'm seeing a lot of folks saying that they're just going to go ahead and unsub to me just so I can catch those L's. Well, you keep doing that, then Space Spies won't return, and instead you're just going to get enhanced Lightspeed Hibiki. So I hope you guys are happy during that Dom Brothers V Kaiju review when Lightspeed Hibiki just gets amped up and juiced. So I'm like, did we really kill Orchid out here? Like, been in the same pose the entire time. I'm just like, this.
No, that's the default pose. That means like the whatever.
They came back to normal earlier.
Yeah, whatever. The software is not connected to whatever they use for like their camera or whatever, because that's what it does when you're not connected to the VC face.
Camera, yeah.
Man, well, on that note, I guess we're out of here. Orchid's already 5 steps and models ahead of us. Oh wait, there they go.
Hello.
Just in time to die with the stream.
Yeah, I was reading Kamen Rider Spirits.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, by the way, chat, you have 1 week to make some funny edited videos of Cosmic's Meanwhile Sononi. Do your magic and send them back into us so we can watch them next
week.
Need
another clip? I'm willing to do it. I still have water.
Oh no, I have that clip, don't worry.
We need a green screen baccround.
We need the
I can remove that background easily.
Yep. Just easily do that. Go ahead and send those edits to zioagito@gmail.com, and we will view what we can. What we can in next week's stream. Of course, if there's anything that needs to get censored and blurred out, then I'm not putting it on the stream.
Right? Oh, I just realized, that's a whole
rabbit hole.
That's a whole TOS violation. Right
yep.
Oh, can I go because I want to see what email.
It just depends if anybody actually does it, but that's when we move to Twitch.
Even that is questionable.
It's just like, all right,
we'll have to stream that on Rumble.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to move to external platforms. Let's go to platforms people don't
Speaking
go
of,
to.
I am on every external platform, by the way, in case anyone wants to see my content. I post it everywhere because I'm like, nope, I'm a content whore for analytics, so my content's everywhere. Actually,
All right. Well, on that note, we are out of here. We will catch you all next week, where we will be talking about the Punk Jack special as well as Dom Brothers V Zenkaiger. So until then, we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
transform.